Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Tuesday evening podcast of everybody's favorite rated R gaming podcast, Gaming After Dark. I'm Nukem, and I've got an amazing panel with me, and I've got a very special guest tonight. This is going to be a hell of a show. A few late-breaking news stories have come through the gaming world over the past day or so, and we'll be talking about that and a little bit more. But let's get right into it. First, a couple of announcements, and the first thing I wanted to announce is that people have asked for him, and he will be back. And I'm talking about Handy Andy. He's going to come back. We're going to bring him back next week. So make sure that you get those questions already pre-made for Handy Andy. He'll be back on the screen next week, so I'm looking forward to that. In the meantime, while you're here, getting your thoughts together, get your questions ready for the end of the show for Arnold, Safehouse, or Cletus. I'll be more than happy to answer that at the end of the show. See some amazing people in the chat already, including Wesson. What's going on, brother? Hopefully more people show up here momentarily, but let's get the show on the road, and let's start with our incredible panel. And I will start with the GameComplainers. What is going on, brother?
What's going on, Newf? What's going on, everybody? How's everyone doing tonight? I'm ready to go.
We are ready to go. It should be a good one. Some good topics. All right, we're going to start out with our other brother from a different mother, Mr. Proto Foxy, live in the building.
Yo, what it is, your friendly neighborhood Red Menace back in the building for episode 19. Let's get this fucking rolling.
Absolutely, yeah. Dropping F-bombs early, that's how I like it. Get those out and out of the way, baby. Let's go, because we're going to be talking about some fucking Halo later on this show. Mm-hmm. All right, let's bring in your wicked hot youngest panel member we have here.
Whoop, whoop. What's up, boys? What's up, chat? What's going on, everybody? It's another Tuesday. You know what we're going to do. We're going to get down to it. We're going to hawk two and spit on that thing, baby. Let's get it going.
Absolutely. Hawk do it. Now, if only you could make her money. Hey, that girl's like stinking rich already.
Yeah, she's
crazy.
Yeah.
I've been saying stupid shit for fucking a decade now, and nobody's paying me for nothing.
No. They just report us, so they call the cops.
No, they pay me to shut up. All right, we got the oldest member of the panel, but he's one of the most charismatic. I'm talking about Sir X-Man.
This is the perfect year. I only had to shovel a few inches of snow in Chicago. Why the South got more snow than us, even down in Texas? Oh, poor baby.
That started off a little creepy. I didn't know where we were going with it, but then I was like, okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded like he was out there playing with a few inches, right?
I was like, are you hiding from somebody? Somebody's watching.
Come on, you loving the fact that the South is getting more snow than us. You loving it.
Cool. We're gonna see some snow in south of midnight.
Yeah, it's gonna be me nutting all over the cover when I get it.
Oh Jesus, that was so hard.
You should never play Stellar Blade.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting for the PC version.
Pretty good game. I haven't gotten very far in it, but I got to get back to that too. All right,
Newf made it to the first ladder. That's about it. He's up.
Yeah, that's right. First ladder had to give up.
Yeah.
I got defeated.
Couldn't leave it.
Stopped staring. The game went on pause, and I never went back.
Oh my god!
Boy, I bet you have to take
tonight is from the is a long-awaited return of a very fun person in the community. He has got fun in his name, as a matter of fact. You know him from the Xbox Ultimate Podcast. He's been on various podcasts over the last couple of years, one of the faster-growing channels in the YouTube scene. It is the one, the only Fun Speculation, a.k.a. we know him as Matt. What's going on, brother?
Sup, nerds? How's it going? Good to be back. It's been a while, man. It's been a while since
All right,
it's been like 2 years, you think?
Yeah, probably.
Probably so, man.
Yeah, probably. It's probably been 2 years, probably, maybe. But anyway, it's good to have you back. What have you been up to, man? What have you been playing? What's the current game on the playlist?
Avowed. I don't think I play it the same way that your Wicked Hot will be, though, because that was interesting. But yeah, I've just been playing a lot of Avowed. It's it's a really good game, dude. I'm appreciating that. Balatro, I've been hooked on that for over a year. We play it like off and on, like all the time. Dabbling in sports games. I'm fighting FOMO for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2.
Right.
Fighting FOMO for Monster Hunter Wilds, which is this week. And it's just what a crazy year for games, man. There's so much to play. That's just pretty ridiculous. But right now, Avowed's got its hooks pretty deep.
Yeah, and we're not even into March yet. Like, holy man.
Yeah,
We've had Ninja Gaiden Black, and all those announcements. Crazy stuff.
Yep. As crazy as we all knew 2025 was going to be, they already added more on top of this year as this year started. Like we started 2025 being like, man, they're gonna have like all these freaking games. I don't know how we're gonna do it. And then they add Ninja Gaiden 2 Black
4.
and then Ninja Gaiden 4, right? Then now we got some kind of Tony Hawk announcement coming around the corner.
Yeah,
as
I heard
well.
about that.
So like there's just like an endless amount of stuff. We just have a delay today, obviously, that we're going to talk about later, for sure.
I'm just waiting on Mecha Break Mag, and it's Xbox exclusive, Xbox and PC exclusive.
Yeah, that's
Xbox
cool,
actually has an exclusive. Holy shit! Wow.
Yeah, it's called Halo 5. Ain't nobody fucking want it.
I love Halo 5 Guardian.
The only one.
Get out of the pool, X-Man. That game was trash.
No,
I love it.
We are not going to argue this again. The multiplayer was fire.
Yeah.
Too many Forge maps.
I like Halo 5. I didn't think it was great, but I mean, but I like
the story was okay.
I would take
but
Halo 5 over Halo Infinite.
Fire.
Oh, see, I'm the complete opposite. Oh. Infinite all day.
Oh my god, Infinite all day, dude. Newf, hop in a wheelchair and roll off a cliff with that fucking statement.
Okay, one thing. How can you have a Halo without a lockout map, dude? How can you have a Halo without a lockout map? Come on.
They got lockout Infinite.
There's probably 3 versions of lockout Infinite now. Here's the thing
it wasn't the same in 5 either.
The 5 Forge maps were the texture was like no texture on anything. Like the walls looked just like straight, just gloss.
I like the Walmart map in Halo. You know, the custom Walmart map. That map's fun, dude.
But like Infinite, like I think some people, like a lot of people, just kind of let the stigma around Infinite, how like
I like playing Breakout and Warzone. What a shit. Especially if you turn the gravity off to a certain degree. Oh, that was so awesome in 5.
If you put 5 and Infinite next to each other, I don't know like who would say it just seeing the games and playing them and feeling them and seeing them. Like who if you could say like 5 looks and plays better than Infinite. You know what I mean? It's just Infinite is such a great game. Like it had a stigma because like the games of service kind of fell off and dipped because they were too slow to get out content. But if you go there now, like the way the Forge maps look, it's better than the Halo 5 dev maps were.
Yeah, well, Halo 5 had so many ways to play Halo without it being a battle royale. That's the difference. To play the multiplayer, so many different ways to play. It was unreal, dude.
All right, we will come back to the Halo topic later, so let's not delay the show here. But let's get back into Perry. What have you been playing? Or at least what's been the main game on your docket this week?
I've been playing. Forgot what I've been playing actually. I played Fable today, Anniversary. It's pretty good.
Nice.
Did you kind of pick that up based on the news, or was that just random?
Oh no, that was based on the news.
Okay, awesome.
It's nice.
Did it age well for you, Fable? Going back and playing it probably after so many years.
You know, I only play a little bit of it on the original Xbox or whichever one it came out on, and then the Anniversary I tried for a little bit when I think they boosted it on the Series X or something like that. I played it for a little bit, and then I went back today, and I was having a lot of fun with it today.
Yeah, it's still a great game.
Yeah, Frank, he loves that game. Like that's his franchise of all time.
Yeah, it's definitely the style, like the humor. It's a little bit different, you know.
Oh yeah, no, I'm good. It was great.
Proto, what have you been playing, brother?
Because I've been doing my whole replay back catalog, so now I'm on my whole Gears kick. So I finished Gears 1 Ultimate Edition, and now I'm playing through Gears 2, so I'm going to end up playing through that entire series again. So just re-catching up with the classics now that I got some time.
Sounds good. Well, those are great games to play, which keep that in mind as well, because when we get into the Fable topic, I do have a sort of an angle that I want to toss at you guys later on. Yeah, and UrW1cK3d Hawt. What have you been playing with, man, besides yourself?
Oh man. Well, you know that's 95% of the week, baby. So the other 5%, it's I am the porn king. No, I'm the hub king. I'm the hub king.
Hub king. That's
right. Don't forget to squeeze after.
Nope. Every last drop. Every last drop. Anywho, what I've been playing is Avowed, dude. I can't put it down. I went. Oh my god, I just can't put it down. I think I've almost got like 2 days in it, just shy of 2 days. And then I played Tony Hawk, Pro Skater 1 and 2, just because I was getting the vibes, because I saw that they, all the things coming out about it. So I was like, I'm gonna hop on that. I'm gonna play that again. And then
Schoolhouse is fun.
Yeah. I just love ripping around. It's like even the soundtrack, just going on like free skate and shit.
I got them both. Yeah.
Other than that, man, just those two.
Nice. Well, a lot of people are playing Avowed. How about you, Sir X-Man? What have you been playing?
Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider.
Dude, Sir X-Man's gonna leave his house and one arm is going to be extreme.
Oh, it just did massively
extremely more jacked than the other.
What have you been doing? The old ones, though.
It's more a pain in the ass when I know those damn puzzles and I can't remember where to go.
The man's gonna have callous thumbs from pressing those horrific D-pad controls.
I've been playing Kingdom of Amalur Reckoning, again for a while. Great game. I love that game. I got the remaster and the old school one. I went back to the old school one because it had the better save for me. Midnight Club LA.
Ooh, that's nice.
I just feel like cleaning the rust out, because bikes with 4 nitroses are kind of dangerous.
I don't know how to say it. A little bit. You just said right there. I don't know if you take that as a car term or if you were just trying to get me going there, Sir X-Man.
And I'm waiting to pick up my 2K25 golf today.
Okay.
That's about it. I like golf video games. Always have. Ever since Hot Shots, dude. And the old Tiger Woods game on the NES. I mean on the PlayStation 2.
The NES. Oh man,
that'd be on NES. He put that one up before he come out the
room. Yo, bro, let me have my confused moment. All right.
It's fine. You
got your one. We got Weston in the chat. What's going on, brother? I also see Cougar Man is in the house. We got Pink Pickles hanging out with us. Good to see you. Cyber Gunter is here as well. Talus Ray is in the building. Good to see you. We got Cougar Man. If I didn't mention him already, we got Matt Cleburne in the house. What's going on, Matt? Good to see you. So, yeah, Pizza, Frank, our good buddy Frank is in the chat. So, yeah, we're off to a good start, guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the party. Hit that like and share.
Let's get some, let's get a party going on here. So myself, I would say for the most part, I've been playing a few things, but the bulk of it's been Avowed. I can't pull myself away from the game. It's, I didn't think I'd like it as much as I am, but there's something oddly very addictive about it. I think a lot of it's in the variety of the ways that you can approach scenarios and combat. The story's kind of cool. Like I said, I really like the stylized graphics of the game. It has a very distinctive look. It's it's very pretty in the way that they did the artwork and the draw distances and like all the details. Like the environments look really good and some pretty cool enemies and shit in there as well. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying the game. I'm not near as far as Cyber Gunter says. He's about 50 hours in. He's playing in Scatterberg already. I'm in the second area of the game. But it's just great. I really enjoy the game. I think they did a hell of a good job with it. So based on everybody I've spoken to so far, it sounds like it's a pretty unanimous that this one was a very good game.
It's a hit. It's a hit, baby.
It's a hit. Hopefully lots of people get out there and try it. So yeah.
Talos Ray is fucking. He was playing it a lot too. Talos Ray has more time than me, and I was about to catch him too. I was like, oh, I looked at the leaderboard, and I was like, haha, I'm about to pass this boy on time. Guess what? I looked back. That man put in work because now he's multiple hours ahead of me. So shout out to Talos Ray.
Yeah, I've given up on the what do you call it, the old achievement leaderboard, because I got so many friends on my list I can't even keep up with it. There's people.
Oh no,
I got people putting in like 12,000, 15,000 gamer score a month. It's crazy.
Oh, I can't even do that. I've been checking out how much like time played, but yeah, dude, fuck, 50 hours, man.
Cool. All right, so let's get right into the topics, guys. Again, great intros, and let's get right into it. Don't want the show to drag too long, but yeah, let's start with the first one. Let's start with Fable and the fact that it's been delayed. What, is this again? Because I can't remember exactly how many times this game has been delayed, or is this officially the first that we know? I mean, this game has been in development for a while, so this might be the first official delay. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it is a little long in the tooth. We've been waiting for this to come out for a while. Craig Duncan has confirmed that it is coming out now in 2026. But, like Mav said earlier at the top of the show about how many games there are this year, this is where I want to ask you guys. It's a delay, but is it the worst case scenario that it's getting delayed considering how many games we already have this year? How many more are left to come? And I guess the other side of the coin is, what scenario does that leave for Gears? Like, are we still expecting a Gears to drop this year, or perhaps next year on its 20th anniversary of Gears? So that's a kind of a multi-ended question here. But what do you guys think of the delay? Obviously, Perry, I saw your tweets earlier. You're not one least of it surprised. So we'll start with you.
I'll touch this one. Oh.
You're going to touch it? Okay.
He's going to caress it.
You would
we'll start with Perry first.
I didn't expect it to come out this year anyway. I know a lot of people were saying it was. But whatever, man. I mean, I was expecting it next year anyway, so it is what it is.
Honestly, I didn't think it was really going to come out this year either. I wasn't getting that vibe,
Yeah.
I mean, if they're making a better game, you guys have seen the videos. I mean, graphically, this game is looking fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Right? I think the girl even looks a bit prettier now than she did before.
Yeah,
so maybe they worked some facial details. I mean, let's hope that's not the delay now, as they're getting a little nervous over the whole scenarios that's been going on with games like Assassin's Creed and a few other ones where everybody's bickering about the characters, right? That's probably not it at all. Perhaps it's just to put the finished touches. But here's a question for you, Perry.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, it's a very packed schedule. Xbox has already had a great start to the year. So is it a possibility that this game is being pushed probably to next year? Because somebody speculated that maybe it's because they're making a version of it for the PlayStation. Do you think that's a possibility?
It could be. I mean, we have to wait and see what they do. If it comes out day and date on both machines, that's probably why they're doing it then.
Y'all forgetting about one thing this year.
What's that?
Why put it out this year? Give yourself something for next year for the new console, and let Grand Theft Auto do its thing in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get in the way of the juggernaut.
Okay, well, like,
you know what I'm saying? You can't.
Frank says after Doom and South of Midnight, what do they have planned for the rest of the year? That is a great question.
That's a good.
I think they've given so much this year, given us so much this year already, man. Just let the regulars do what you're gonna do in the summer and the spring, and maybe a little bit in the fall, and let the main things take care of the rest of the year. Your other things, your third parties, your Call of Duties, if there's another Call of Duty this year. Let them take care of them things. Let Grand Theft Auto get the rest of the heat. And then next year, you come out with guns a-blazing. Just like you did
Gears next year and Fables next year, that would be amazing. Could you imagine if, say, like there's a Forza game coming as well, perhaps? Like next year, that would be cool, too. Yeah. That would be wild. Somebody's got to be working on the next Horizon game. I would imagine it's still Playground.
But just like everybody else, nobody wants to be in the way of the juggernaut, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
But don't
Can you
we have-
imagine Gears, Forza, and Halo all in the same year? That'd be wild.
yeah, but in the realm of Grand Theft Auto, dude,
Well, Grand
I
Theft
would-
Auto is this year, right? So most people
Yep.
want to avoid that at all costs. That game is just going to destroy anything that comes out in the fall.
anything that
That's
comes out
the
around that time, just let it go. You know, save your. You got enough games in your chambers for the rest of the year. Let Grand Theft Auto do its thing, and then come once some of the hype and some of the smoke dies down for Grand Theft Auto, you probably got about 6 months of heat for that game, and then you just bomb them with games that you're coming out with. That's the best smoke you can give, dude, and that's the best way. That's how it would be if I organized it. You know, other than another Call of Duty, you know, there's nothing else that's really gonna, you know, compete with the GTA, and that's the truth.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to even come close to that. Like, you'd have to be more, slightly insane to think that GTA 6 is not going to be a runaway hit right out the gates. If you're planning to get a physical copy, I probably would suggest you pre-order the damn thing because it's probably going to be sold out of retailers like really
Because
fast.
you know what's gonna be on your friends list. GTA. What you playing? Why aren't you playing GTA? I couldn't afford it. GTA. I gotta get it
What does
next month.
GTA stand for? Go touch ass.
That's why Sir X Man's in the strip club in the local server. It's just,
That's what he's doing.
Hey, that's well spent dollars, bro.
Maybe it'll be a microtransaction for you.
Let's bring in.
Hey, I
let's
got
bring our
mine.
guest in on this one. I'm sure he's dying to talk about the reaction to Fable being delayed. Mav, I don't suspect that you are surprised by this announcement in the least either. Why do you think it is? They're saying for again more polish, which is not unheard of. But you know what's your take behind it?
Did you say me? Sorry, Newf.
Yeah.
What's
your take behind the Fable delays? Do you think it's just again to make sure this game is ready? Do you think it's to avoid a lot of congestion in the fall?
I don't know. I'm not one to say, hey, delay things just because other things are kind of clustered. I just release the games when they're ready.
Right.
Because like 2025 is super packed, but if you move it into 2026, you're not doing yourself any favors because 2026 is also super packed too, right? 2026 might even be crazier than even 2025 is if you look at the possibilities of games coming next year for Xbox also. So if it could be a GTA thing, it could be that Gears was ready, or it could just be that, hey, they just legitimately needed more time. This was the first announced official delay for it because they didn't ever announce anything until they said 2025, which was last year, right? So this is the first time we're like, okay, this is being pushed back. Regardless of like how much stuff we have to play and all these other kind of things, like still, if you're looking forward to a game or you've been waiting for one as long as we have Fable, for me personally, it kind of sucks because this has been my most anticipated game for 4 or 5 years now, I think, ever since it was announced. And even before then, it had been rumored for a couple of years that it was actually happening, you know? So I've always been wanting Fable to come back. So yeah, it sucks that it's delayed. Is it going to be something that's like, oh no, how dare Xbox? No, because the delays don't hit now like they used to, right? Like in 2022, when they announced all these delays and everything was pushed out into 2023, it was like, it was like PlayStation this year. You know what I mean? It's like, what do we have to look forward to? There wasn't a whole lot there. So you kind of felt like those delays were a lot more impactful. Now the delays aren't really going to be too impactful for them. You know, maybe affect the studio more, affect the budget more. You have to extend things. It drives the cost up and all that. But overall, I think the game's going to be amazing when it comes out, and I can be patient and wait. But I can still say, damn, it sucks because I wanted to play Fable this year. I've been looking forward to it. Every time we talk about most anticipated games, it's always Fable. But yeah, if I just hope it's not a decision of like, you know, because Matt Booty talked about this before when he had the position. They're like, yeah, my biggest problem is figuring out where to put these games. And I can see why. If you look this year, right? You look this year, I was kind of jotting down some of the games. Outer Worlds 2 was surprisingly announced for this year, right? You got Ninja Gaiden 4. You have Doom the Dark Ages, South of Midnight. Oblivion Remake is supposed to be a real thing that's going to happen maybe in June. This Tony Hawk and all of the ABK stuff, whatever they end up dropping, you're going to have another Call of Duty at the end of the year. Maybe like a 1.5 or, not necessarily like, it's not going to be the biggest new Black Ops or the biggest new Modern Warfare or whatever, but it's going to be a Call of Duty this year. They're going to even have stuff like Towerborn. Then on top of that, you got the Game Pass day and date games dropping. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is dropping. Wu-Chang Fallen Feathers is dropping. In March, we got Atomfall dropping, Game Pass day and date. We also just got 33 Immortals just got the date for March also. Like, it's just insanely loaded. But then, okay, well, let's move Fable for that. Okay, so, we'll move Fable into 2026. Well, okay, if Gears doesn't hit this year, it's going to hit next year. For sure.
Yeah, well, let's just say that's a great point too. Like, if Xbox has got lots of third-party support through Game Pass, they don't necessarily have to drop the game out, like I said, to feel rushed because they have to fit it on a certain agenda. I think they're going to have a very strong year regardless. And we know that Fable's a very high-profile title, right? It's probably one of the biggest.
You got new
profile
DLC for Elden Ring too this year. You got new DLC for Elden Ring this year too.
That's just it. Regardless if it's on Game Pass or not, when Fable drops, when they go to they put the full marketing behind Fable. I'm sure they're going to want as many eyes on as possible. They want people to play this game. They potentially, hopefully, want Fable to ultimately move more Game Pass subscriptions overall as well. I think that would be the hope, or you'd wish it would be the hope. For the company, for the game. Like I said, I mean, looking at the videos and stuff, I mean, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like where she's riding the horse and she's fighting this freaking giant creature-looking bird creature. I mean, the graphics are outstanding, and we were all kind of worried about that because we were worried, like, well, what art style are they going to go with? Are they going to go for semi-realistic, or is it going to become funny? And it looks like they've chosen more of a realistic style of graphics, but it looks like as well they're going to try to keep that typical old-fashioned lion head style of sense of humor, right? Maybe a sense of humor that maybe not all of us North American people get, but certainly our good friends in the UK definitely jive with some of that stuff. So I think it's important. It's a bad thing.
I think it's important too, like they don't feel as much of the pressure to have to release it. Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the benefit. Yeah. If they did need more time. But they were like, oh, but we can't. We gotta have something this year, so they still put it out anyway. Like they're not in that position anymore. So I just hope that that's the reason why it's delayed. Next year is going to be nuts with all these games because if you do get a Forza Horizon 6 and you get Fable, Gears E-Day, whether it hits late this year or next year, Perfect Dark was the first one that was rumored to be that was slated for 2025, and then it was pushed to 2026. So I think that one is one we can maybe hope for. On top of that, you got Contraband, probably. State of Decay 3 is a possibility for next year. And don't be surprised if we actually hear Everwild for 2026 as well, because they actually teased it right at the new year this year as well. And they're starting to get back on track.
Hey, Mav.
So it's just going to be an insane couple years ahead.
And Mav, we still don't know what they got coming at the June showcase.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be nuts, man.
Yeah. That June showcase is going to lay out the next 6 months. Like they've laid out, like you notice how that kind of in halves. Like, we had that showcase in like that little show in January. It shows us up to summertime, like right in May. Then we're going to get one that summertime. It'll probably take us to December, and then we'll kind of roll in.
Yeah, and we're getting
a better idea.
2 Obsidian RPGs in the same year.
Oh, fuck!
I mean, Outer Worlds 2 this year, later this year, man. Like. And they haven't even had a big show about that yet. All we've seen is a couple trailers.
Man, you RPG people are screwed.
It's insane.
If they put out Outer Worlds 2 this year, that's huge because I think somebody from the studio said that they're fairly small. They got like 447 developers or something in that studio.
Yeah, and the new Battlefield is rumored to come out this year. I'm still trying to get in the damn beta.
They talked about that one's coming spring next year.
Dude, I want that beta. I want to play.
Oh, they pushed it back.
But they didn't ever push it back because the first time they talked about it,
they said it was
gonna be
coming spring of 2026. Yeah.
That'll be good though.
It's looking good so far. That's all I can say. And I've got an insider at EA who
is
has
it
confirmed
looking?
that yes, it looks pretty damn good, and thinks that fans will be excited for this one.
Sick.
Man, these 2 years are loaded. You gotta where you gonna put this stuff? That's the problem.
In Game Pass. That's where you put it in. Put it in Game Pass.
I buy every Battlefield. I don't Game Pass no Battlefield, even the one that came out. So that's just me. I'll Game Pass Call of Duty because I don't like Call of Duty like that.
Well, that's a great thing about Game Pass, right? It saves you money on games you don't really want to play or don't really like. You can take it on your own accord. You can go out and buy the game if you really like it on Game Pass, just like I went out and bought a physical copy of Indiana Jones because I love the fucking game. Played it on Game Pass first, though. But
you was able to find a copy of the disc?
Yeah, I just ordered it from Amazon. It was on there.
Oh, look at you.
Ooh,
Aren't you special?
Absolutely. Just like Indiana Jones, I got to hunt down all those relics, you know.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm a relic, but that's okay. Hey, I finally.
And that's another good game that pretty much started the beginning of this year. If you think about it, late
you can almost say it
December,
started this year. It came out so late last year. It's the first game I beat in 2025. So
I just say it. Microsoft is hitting on all cylinders. They're figuring out where the best place to put their stuff
games
in.
wise, they definitely got it rolling. Other things, I'm not quite sure about, but yeah. Wicked Hot, what do you think about the delay, man? Disappointing? Is it cool? Just because again, there's so many games coming down the pipe. What's your take?
Well, I'm not completely disappointed, just because, kind of like everybody said, there just wasn't that much advertising, like in your face enough to be like, oh, okay, like I think it's coming sooner than later. But also, like, to touch on everything everybody else said, I think it's like a little bit of both. I think maybe they just need a little bit more time, but like you guys said, it looked good. Like everything presented to us looks pretty good, but maybe they just need a little bit more time in the oven. And I think the other half of that is trying to figure out the cadence of when to pump it out, when not to pump it out near another game. Like you said, Cyrex Man, the juggernaut itself, GTA. But I guess I have a different kind of optimism or hype for this game than maybe most of you guys. I never played the originals at all. So yes, chat, you can boo me like I'm Dom Mysterio. Let the booze rain down on thee.
They're in Game Pass.
I never played them, but I'll probably have to give them at least one a go just so I got the gist rolling in. But I think it's a little bit of both,
at least play the first game, because I think the first one is just a very it's definitely an instant classic. The second one was good as well. The third one I think most people would agree the third one was the weakest. They started bringing the guns into the play and stuff like that as well. So.
Yeah, but Fable 2, you could get married and have kids.
I've heard good things about them, so I gotta at least give it a good effort before.
Yeah, I heard Sir X-Men knocked up the whole village.
Hey, they didn't have child support back then. That was good.
Or paternity tests.
Dude, yeah.
Boo this man, says Stevie Mac.
Boo.
Right on. Proto, what's your take, man? Where you at with this sort of delay? Not surprised?
No, definitely not. I'm with the consensus here. You know, I mean, like Hot said, they were showing us trailers. Wasn't really a whole lot. It wasn't like they were hyping up any kind of release for this year. And I didn't, you know, like Perry was saying, I didn't buy that it was going to come out this year anyway. You know, they weren't hyping it enough. They weren't talking about it enough. So I had already assumed that, okay, we'll see it in 2026, and going with everybody, you know, just like what everybody else is saying, there's so much coming out this year. It's like, why force a game before it's ready? You know what I mean? You know, You're not talking about it. You're not, pumping out, hype for it. Why force it? You know, you've got enough coming out that you don't have to worry about it. It's like, yeah, let's put it back in the oven. We'll cook for a little bit longer. People will sit and wait. And that's, that's the way I see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean it's an article. I'm sure it's creating lots of buzz, but it's really not much to say about it. Like again,
I'd
as
rather
Matt said,
them do
it's
that
not
than do another
delays today
Redfall.
are not the same as it was years ago when
Mhm.
you know like it's common thread for the industry now, especially on these games that are AAA games, big budgets. They generally take 4 years, 5 years on the average now, which is still crazy. And I think it's part of the what's wrong with the industry right now is games are getting too big, the budgets are getting out of control, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting. You know, the fact that, you know, if you look at it, I mean, there was 2 Fable games that came out on the 360 generation. We didn't have a single one on the Xbox One outside of that fucking Kinect game or whatever it was. We were supposed to have that. What was the game that was canceled? Fable, was it Fable Legends?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was looking pretty good up until they fucking
Yeah, it was.
got canned, which is crazy. Probably one of the best studios that got shut down. Yeah, so I mean, it's like it's par for the territory, but again, you got to play it. You still got to have a strategy around your release dates too, right? No matter if it's coming to Game Pass or not, you got to remember that if you're paying for third party support in Game Pass, you want to give them a little bit of marketing clout too, right? You want to make sure that they get a little time to shine. It's no good to bring in a game to Game Pass and then be like, yeah, but here's 5 other games from top tier developers all in the same fucking week, and then people can't decide what they want to play, and the games are not getting the traction, right? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, you know, just to see one that, you know, they pumped a whole lot of fucking money behind, all of a sudden shit the bed and nobody plays it, and I was like, well, what happened? It's like, well, duh, you put it up against this, that, and the other fucking thing, right? You know, it makes no sense. Give it its time, give it its space. And you know, everybody's talking about, you know, launching up against a juggernaut of GTA on top of it because that's impending. I mean, yeah, it only makes sense. Nobody's gonna, no matter what you play, because I mean, I've said it before, I'm not a GTA fan, so I give 2 shits about 6. But for, you know, for people out there, you know, even if you're a big RPG head, like a lot of the guys on the panel are, I guarantee most people here are probably going to end up playing GTA 6 in one way, shape, or form. Anything else will be forgotten about. You know, so it just makes sense to give it its space and let it have its own space and its own time.
Well, here's my thought real quick. Okay, sometimes it's okay. Okay, you got some games coming out. You know, a lot of them probably just gonna go to your system. You probably gonna share some, but a lot of them gonna go to your system. Where's room for the third party to breathe? You can't just put all your stuff out and not have no room for your third party games to breathe. You know, there's got to be room in there for them somewhere too.
Well, I can understand that to a point, X-Man, but at the same time, if you're, you know, any of the companies, you know, Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony, do they give a shit about if the third party's got time to breathe? If it's their own first party, you know, titles, they want their games to succeed. I mean, it's on the third parties for their titles to succeed, not the console companies.
Yeah, but you know they all work.
I mean, I'm sure they do, but at the end of the day, it's like I would say, like,
third
if
party
Microsoft
makes their money.
Well, in Nintendo's case, they don't give a shit about anything anyway because
Nintendo don't care.
Their
They do
game
whatever the hell
basically
they
float the boat for them.
I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, it would definitely be better for everybody's business to do that. But let's just say, in a world where Fable was done, ready to go, they're hyping it up, putting the marketing behind it, and it's going to end up going up against GTA 6. Do you think Microsoft, for 1 fucking second, if they're dead set on releasing a game against GTA, that they aren't going to do it? No, they're going to do it if they're putting their ass behind it. You know what I mean? But you know, but then again, that's also, like I said, a perfect world where all those things happen.
Yeah, they're not gonna throw that against the Juggernaut. The only other Juggernaut, I'm sorry, is a new Call of Duty around that time. You can't avoid
you don't want
that.
another Titanfall 2 situation. It's the last thing you want. But we'll see what happens, because it's either going to be put in a good spot or there's going to be a well-placed rake right before they
don't
that game.
Don't mention Titanfall. When they took
Sony
away,
has anything planned for the fall. That's the part I want to know. They got anything in their pipeline for the fall? Because nobody knows a damn thing of what's going on there.
don't you ever
showcase
mention Fall and 2 again.
Does anybody know of any fall releases coming from the first party yet?
Sorry.
Perry, have you heard of anything? Mav, anybody hear of any releases coming out of Sony's camp for the fall?
I think they just announced some more delays or behind the scenes, right? It was Fair Games was supposed to be this year, but that got pushed, I think. So
Yeah, they're all third party this year.
Marathon being pushed. I mean, you look at the stuff that they have, like Lost Soul Aside. That's this year. It's earlier this year. It's published by Sony, right? So they count that as first party. That's releasing. Oddly enough, anybody that said, "Hey, they'll never do day and date on their games," that's actually published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It's a single player game, and it's also releasing day and date on PC, which is different than some of the other deals that they've done in the past, like Stellar Blade and stuff like that, right?
That's a smart move.
So they're going more, they're closing that window there. But as far as like, they have another game that they have like an exclusive partnership with. It's not published with them, but it's kind of like that a lot of people were talking about at the State of Play that they just had. But as far as like big first party franchises and stuff, like there's nothing that we know of as of right now. It goes to Yote as the hope, I think. That's the one, right? But we'll see. I was surprised that we didn't see more of it at the State of Play. So the only thing I can think is that they're going to have a dedicated State of Play for it later this year that will hopefully have a release date and it doesn't get pushed back.
Yeah, I hope so. It'd be nice. I mean, especially
Borderlands 4.
Borderlands
Everybody though.
Well, that's the thing. Like they're so desperate to have some kind of little show news and stuff that they're having their own State of Play for Borderlands 4, right?
Right.
That is crazy instead of their own games.
What game did they do that before? They did it before to another game previously, I thought.
They did that with a lot of games.
I mean, they've done it with some of their own games. They did it with
recently.
Horizon.
It was like maybe like last 2 years ago. But it was a third-party game. I think that's why maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe
I can't remember for sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes June, if Sony has a State of Play in June and announces that Avowed is coming to PlayStation.
But then again, they're going to have.
I'm going to get it over there too.
They'll have Indiana Jones in the spring at some point.
That's right.
That'll be. The date on that will be announced sometime between April.
Wasn't it April? I think they're aiming for Indiana Jones.
That's in spring, so it could be any time between late into March and early June, right?
Hey, I remember the game they had a separate State of Play for was PlayStation. Was it Hogwarts? They had their own because they had the marketing rights for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had special DLC for that too. If I remember
where the fuck is my DLC for that? Jesus Christ!
They might have had one for Avengers also because of the Spider-Man content. They had Spider-Man.
Yeah, they did.
But they canceled like the multiplayer or some shit. I remember that at the end. They're like, "Yeah, here's your skin. We canceled it."
All right,
they're a shit show right now, man. I don't know what to say about Sony. It's weird.
This is always the dangerous part. And look, most of us on this panel, the majority of us, I mean, I think we pretty much consider ourselves Xbox guys. As far as like the majority of us here, that's our preferred platform. Most of us have always had Xbox, strategic or Xbox centered podcasts, right? And I'm not trying to, come out here and shit on Sony's fire by any means, but, we've seen this in the past, and it's the reason Sony slipped with the PlayStation 3, is Sony tends to rest on their laurels. And I told people this years ago. I said, remember when they had that really strong, I think it was 2018, the year God of War came out, like they had so many good games, right? And it seemed like every time Xbox had a show, Sony had all of these. We've probably seen them 4 or 5 times. They kept showing the same games. But I felt like they blew their whole wad. They blew their whole wad in that 1 or 2 years. It was kind of like, here's our games, because they really wanted to try to bury Microsoft. And now it's kind of like, there you go. You fucking shot everything out the cannon. You're sitting on Insomniac Games to carry the fucking load for you guys. Where's the rest of your shit? And now it's kind of funny watching them release all these games that are supposed to be these big multiplayer hits, and they're all fucking flopping like all over the place. I mean, with the exception of Helldivers, again, not a first-party studio.
Yeah, they sure tried to mess that one up on PC, didn't they?
So it just kind of like, it just baffles me. Like, are they already into the point where it's like, we're like the leaders, so let's fucking just sit back and get lazy here?
Well, I think that's what it is when you think about it, is because they are the front of the pack, right? Let's not playing the whole devil's advocate Sony pony thing here, but they're leading the pack. That's what they're doing. Just kind of like you said, how they did with PS3, and now that they're getting more Xbox titles coming over and shit's getting rumored, they don't feel any pressure. There's no pressure anymore. So I don't think we're going to see
back
them.
to the lack of competition driving the industry kind of shit, basically.
Right? Yeah, and that's what it is.
Coast. That's what.
And that's what they're doing. They're in coast mode. They don't give a shit. It's like, well, we'll just put it out when we put it out. They'll have state of plays where we're going to see a shit ton of third party stuff and stuff that's going to go PC, PC day and date, which is not often from them, but it's happening. But they're just in coast mode. They're the front of the pack, and they don't give a shit. And when you're the front of the pack, you aren't going to give a shit until somebody starts nipping at your heels, right?
I think that's the same reason why PlayStation VR isn't taking off more or hasn't progressed more, because I feel that because Xbox didn't put one out, Sony doesn't really feel the need to fucking have to really step down on this one. Yeah, exactly. They're not getting any. They're not getting any. PSVR 2 is such a tragedy because they're doing such a fucking coast mode with this. Being an owner of one and watching what goes through the dashboard, it looks almost forgotten about. Most of the time, you barely even know that PSVR 2 exists, and I think that's fucking sad because it's a great device that should be getting a lot more love than it's getting. You look at MetaQuest, it's all over the fucking place. Oh yeah, MetaQuest, you see ads, you see Facebook shit, you see people using it and talking about it, and then PSVR is fucking crickets. They came up with that Horizon game right at the launch, and then fucking was like, yeah, that's enough for us. We'll wash our hands from it. We'll put a GT mode in, and let's call it a day. Come on.
Oh, that's because MetaQuest works with MetaQuest works with PC too. That's the thing.
No, you can get PSVR 2 to work with PC too, and they got a thing for it, but
yeah, but somebody says you lose something when you do it. It's like you lose something in the vision or something like that.
There's some capability or there's some output. You do lose something.
Could be eye tracking. I'm not sure. There's eye tracking in that, which is pretty cool. Excellent in the building. What's going on, brother Axel? Good to see you here. We got a Nate in the chat. What's going on, Nate? Good to see you. Iceman LMH. We got Cyber Gunter hanging out with us tonight. What's going on? We got Anthony in the building. What's happening, brother Anthony? Good to see you here as well. What's up, guys? Fantastic chat here. I think we got, who else was here? We got Stevie Mac in the house. We got BT Maverick in the building. I'm guessing that's probably a fan of Mav Show, because I don't know if he comes over here or not. But good to see you, BT Maverick. Everybody, appreciate you being here. Thanks so much. Hit that like button if you could. Greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, because for $200, the HTC Vive, I think it's like $700. It pretty much does everything that the PlayStation VR does. So that's where a lot of people use on PC too. Plus the Google one.
Don't go all off, Sir X-Men. We heard about your stories. You went down to the used shop, you bought a blow-up doll and got a dildo and call it VR.
Oh, no, I found that in the YMCA closet, dude.
God damn. Sir X-Man's the old guy in the corner with no pants on, powdering his nuts.
Pants on.
Don't look over there, guys. Don't look. Don't look.
Hey, Mike Bates is in the house. What's going on, Master Bates?
Hey.
I ain't seen that person in a while.
I know.
We know him around. He was Wild Bates.
Wild Bates. Packs. That's right, baby.
Fastback's in the building. What's going on, brother? Good to see you, Fastback. Let's move on topics because Fable's kind of done to death here. There's not much else we could say. Let's just, at the end of the day, we're all in agreement. We would just want to see a great game at the end of the day. Hopefully it comes out. A great time for it to come out would probably be in the spring of next year. I'm sure we'll find out the details on that soon, but usually the spring's a bit of a slower time. You can kind of avoid a lot of the bigger releases. I think that would make logical sense. But again, we don't know the full roadmap for Xbox past the fall anyway at this point. So we know there's lots of games coming out. We just don't really know the actual dates. Right? I'm super excited for Gears, but I think Gears is next year. It would make sense to me that Gears E-Day would come out around the 20th anniversary, right? Because the original Gears was 2006, right?
Yeah, it was 2006, yeah.
2006.
You got to do it on the anniversary.
if we see a Gears of War before E-Day, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we get sort of shadow dropped the Gears of War remastered collection, perhaps. I think that's a possibility, and I also
The
think that's a
Marcus Phoenix
possibility of being
collection
a
you
game that
talking
comes to
about?
PlayStation as well.
Yeah.
You talk about the Marcus Phoenix collection.
Yes,
Yes,
Marcus
sir.
Phoenix collection, as we've heard talk about for years. I think it exists. I think it's just a matter of time before we get it, and I wouldn't be surprised if, again, that's a game that, if that does exist, if it doesn't get launched on PlayStation, because they'll try to drum up business for the next Gears of War game when it launches, right? What a better way to ignite the franchise and introduce people to the ones that made it great in the first place.
Yeah, it would make it.
Ron Hale, what's up, brother?
Exactly.
All righty.
Hey, all I say is more achievements.
What?
More achievements.
More Chivos.
For playing
Real
the same
quick.
game.
Let's
Real
move
quick
on
on
to the
Gears,
next
Newf.
story.
Real quick on the Gears. I
Yeah,
think
go ahead, man.
it would be
Yeah.
it would be really cool if, like, for me, regardless, I think, you know, all these Xbox games are going everywhere anyway at some point, right?
Yeah,
So
I think it's safe to say, yeah.
Gears E-Day, you know, launch it. If it's day and date everywhere, that's cool. I don't care. Maybe it's still later this year. That's what some of the rumors have been. Tom Warren has been saying that over and over again. But for me, just because it's a prequel, it'd be cool if that released. You get like this big release for Gears, and then the next year you have the collection. That way, people can continue that missed it out can continue the story. You know what I mean? So you get
Right.
the prequel, then you get the next three that are remade in UV5. That would be, I think, the best way to do it. But
That'd be epic.
Either which way, I think it's a win.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. But yeah, no, you might be right. It'd be a great way to introduce people new to the franchise, get you in on sort of the definitive, current game, and then bring back the definitive edition of the Marcus Phoenix collection. Games that get that Gears of War Ultimate treatment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Hawk 3 and 4 remake announced on 3-4 Cleaver Marketing. Okay.
Clever marketing. Maybe I misspoke.
It says Cleaver, Perry.
Is it immediately
Thanks to
available?
YouTube spell check, right?
I want another Tony Hawk Project 8. That game was
Oh,
fun.
fucking slap my ass
You'll
and
get
call
it.
me Shirley. Hell yeah,
That
Mr.
game
F-Man.
was so much fun.
Is that
Remember
the one
when
that
you
came
could
with the
slow down?
skateboard?
Yeah, that's when you could slow down time in an area,
Yeah.
and your friend
go
and you
down,
could do
like,
the
the
slow
list
down
every time
time
you did
online too. Oh, that was so much fun.
Oh, that was dope. Yo,
Man.
American Wasteland was fire too. Everyone forgets about that one.
Oh yeah.
But I'm excited for 4, dude. Dude,
Project
3 and
8
4
was my
together are
shit.
2 totally different games. That's really fucking cool to package in. 3
3 was good,
3 is
but
the
4
most
was
advanced.
just okay.
But like 3 was the most advanced one of like the 2-minute sessions, banging out how much you could. Number 4 popped you in at the college first level, and you're skating around, free skate while you're playing the story, and then it's like, all right, skate over here, talk to him, do the thing. All right, do your
I
thing, and skate
played
over
every
there. Like
Tony Hawk, like
that was
I
fire,
played
and then that
every
continued on. So
like
that's
I
cool.
played every
Anyway.
SSX. I've played every Tony Hawk.
Oh, don't fool me.
All right, let's talk about this one again. It wasn't on my radar, but it did pop up today, and I think it's another sign of the times and sad news for the gaming industry as we find out that Warner Brother Games has decided to shut down Monolith Studio right in the middle of apparently developing the Wonder Woman game that was supposed to come out here in the next little while. So really sad news for those of you not really familiar with Monolith. You probably be familiar with their games because they made Fear 2, they made Shadow Mordor.
They made my favorite game, Condemned.
Condemned 2. Amazing games right there.
Condemned.
People might remember Condemned from the original 360. It was a fantastic game, one of the most underrated or I guess underappreciated.
Still is.
So yeah, pretty sad sign of the times. And again, it's one of those things where it's just the industry. This is exactly what's wrong with the industry. It's obviously a talented studio that knows how to make a great game. Wonder Woman's a fantastic property, but now they're getting cold feet because we've seen what happened to sort of the lukewarm reception of the Avengers game. Then we saw what happened with the Suicide Squad game, which is published under Warner Brothers. It well underperformed. We saw how the Gotham Knights game underperformed and was basically forgotten about within weeks. So, just having superheroes nowadays does not guarantee success. And I think a lot of these developers are falling on, I shouldn't say the devs, because I think a lot of this stuff stems from the money pushers, the people that are like, you need to make this game, or this game. And they try to capitalize on trends in the industry. And I largely blame a lot of the Suicide Squad stuff is because Harley Quinn was really popular a couple of years ago. And then everybody wanted to capitalize on this property. But, I don't think I've ever heard a fan go, man, let's make a Suicide Squad game. I think that shit would be amazing. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that. Now, whether you like the game or not, I know Wicked Hot likes it a lot. That's fantastic. But apparently not
who would say that?
Like
I would say
right?
that.
So, what is happening here? Is this, again, them just getting a case of the cold feet and shutting things down? Like, you think Wonder Woman, that should be a pretty easy sell, right? But are the times changing? What's the deal here? I'll open the floor up to any of you guys who want to jump in on this.
Well, I just think Warner Brothers doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with their games division anymore.
Yes.
They've already come out and said that they wanted to offload it, how many years ago now? So I just don't think they give a shit. And then shutting down Monolith, yeah, it's a damn shame. But, are we surprised with Warner Brothers at this point? And then Wonder Woman, like you said, that should have been a slam dunk. And especially, because we didn't really know much about it to begin with. I mean, what direction they were going to go. But if you make Wonder Woman, a single player, story-driven game, that should print fucking money, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, they fucking shit the bed because probably what they wanted to try and do is what they did with Suicide Squad, like you mentioned, do games as a service, cram that slop down our fucking throats, and just slap the Wonder Woman name on it. And then when it shits the bed, they're going to turn and say, "Oh, what happened?" Well, what happened is you're a bunch of fucking morons. You don't know how to handle your properties.
They're probably doing play testing, and they realized that they took away her ass, gave her no boobs, and made her fucking ugly as Ellen DeGeneres. You know what I mean?
Oh, so they went the route of Gal Gadot.
This is where Warner Brother is messing up. People want an Injustice 3, and that game sold like gangbusters. Give all those characters back and make an Injustice 3.
Well, with Injustice, that was more handled by Nether. I mean, it's still Warner Brothers, but that was handled more by NetherRealm because the same people that did Mortal Kombat.
Right, but it was such a great game, dude.
Oh, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I love Injustice.
And
I'm just
they're not using
different sides.
Brothers aren't using their licensed characters in games in the right strategy. That's the problem. They're not. How long has it been since you've had a Batman game? And people love the Batman game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're messing up. No, we don't need another Superman game. Let that be. But, something in that genre. Well, we don't need no Aquaman game. We could have a good Green Lantern game. I mean, he's got potential. You're not using your characters properly. You're not using the right characters that can do a little bit more than just dodge bullets and have an invisible jet flying somewhere and have a loot lasso. You need your characters to have more about them with your stories, and you need to find characters that do that you have. But that's the thing, X-Men. But that's the thing, X-Men. Wonder Woman is one of them type of characters. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of potential there. It's just you'll have to take her to the beginning. She'll have to be like part detective with what's his name or something like that later, or you have to show her growing up with the Amazons and how she became Wonder Woman. Another beginning
they fucked
story.
That one up, though. I think WB fucked that one up.
And then hell, even in the comic book world right now, Wonder Woman's hot. They're doing a new run with her that's doing real fucking well.
Yeah.
I like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, they're talking about it. She is like, as far as a comic book character right now, she's the talk of the industry, you know, with the new run and everything. It would just make sense. But no, again, it just goes back to Warner Brothers being completely inept in how to handle their properties. But then it goes to show you, like I said before, they've been talking about wanting to offload all their game division years ago. You know, there was talks, and of course there were fanboy rumors all over the place. Oh, Xbox is going to buy Warner Brothers game. It's like, who gives a shit? Who the hell's going to buy it? Just give it to somebody who knows what the fuck they're going to do with it. Because they don't.
AT&T owned them for a little while. And AT&T wanted to offload Warner Brothers. So
that's the thing. They want to offload the stuff, and then they wonder why the shit's failing. It's because nobody cares, because you keep talking about wanting to getting rid of everything every 10 damn minutes.
It's a product of not. Yeah, it's a product of not having your heart in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when you wanted to sell it and then you don't want to sell it. Is it because maybe it's not the price that you want, or you've dished out enough money? It seems like when it's good, everything's great. You put out a bunch of Batman games and they were awesome. Nothing bad to say about them. So then you got a little cocky. You started to go outside of your realm. You started making a couple games that just didn't hit and didn't hit and didn't hit. And it's like, maybe we need to dial back, but I also think it's a product of not being
these companies, like, before they spend 5 years and $200 million making a fucking game, can they not go to like a Comic-Con somewhere and fucking do a poll? Like, before they set down on a game, we're going to talk to actual comic fans and game fans and say, we have these choices to make a game. This character A, character B, character C, and take a fucking poll. And then, 80% want this game over this game. And then maybe, I think that's the one we should go with. Do you know what I mean?
You know what? Batman was so popular because he was like,
Batman's always been popular. Like,
but he was, but
Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, Hulk, Iron Man. Those are like
real quick.
But then,
Batman, real quick. Because Batman was the Splinter Cell, but it was a Batman character. That's why Batmans do so well.
Well, that was
they
just
have the same. They play almost the same, like a Splinter Cell character.
Well, yeah, but at the same time too, when those Batman games hit, that was like lightning in the bottle. Batman was hot.
Yep.
Christian Bale was out, I think, that time too, right? Christian
that's
Bale
what I'm saying. The Christopher Nolan trilogy, all of that shit. That shit was hot, and right now, and Newf, you saying go to a comic book convention? Hell, with Wonder Woman, you don't need to do that. Just Google. She's up there right now. People are talking about Wonder Woman. People are loving this run. You can take and get a game off of just her current run if you were going to be that lazy about it. But she's got such a deep history in comic books that you can pull from anywhere and make a decent game. I'm just thinking, and again, this is just my speculation.
But you got your what you call your A tier superheroes, then you got your B tier. You know what I mean? Right. It's the same reason like the Ant-Man movies don't fucking do as well as like Spider-Man movies per se, right? Because Ant-Man, it might be cool and you might love Ant-Man. The average person on this earth does not fucking know Ant-Man, has never read an Ant-Man comic. Like, most people know Spider-Man. You walk into a Walmart somewhere, what's the character you should see in all the pajamas? Spider-Man, Hulk, Superman,
Captain America,
Woman, Batman. Like, you see where I'm going with this? Like, those are universal properties. They're so fucking big, they transcend the comic book world.
Exactly. It's just... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I've been on my soapbox.
No, you're good, man. Like, so this has been like a big thing with WB. Like WB originally was looking to sell. Then you had the whole merger with WB Discovery. They were super happy after Hogwarts Legacy launched because they were like, "Oh my god, gaming's amazing! It's like saving our company. Our movies are flopping, but we're making so much money on this game." And they thought everything was going to be great, right? So they're like, we're doubling down on games and we're doing all this stuff. But in the background, there was all this turmoil. Like, we know what happened with Suicide Squad. That was kind of forced onto Rocksteady to do a games of service game. I personally like the game. I think it's really fun, but it's not what people were looking for at the end of the day, right? So Monolith their last game was Shadow of Mordor. They after Shadow of Mordor, they were working on a new original game, and they were working on that for like 3 years. But it was mandated early on that was supposed to be his original game. But it was mandated early on in development that WB wanted them to change it to one of their IPs, right? So then they were struggling. How do we fit like this like Nemesis system into the character choice, like what we have going with these like superheroes and stuff? So then in 2021, that game got canceled. I still don't know what game it was going to be based on. I don't know if they ever came to a conclusion, but it got canceled. And when that happened, the creative directors, the all the lead talent, everybody that invented the Nemesis system, everybody that really made Monolith what it is, bolted. They left WB. They said, I'm tired of all this crap. They went and formed a new studio under EA, and they're making a Black Panther game right now. And what was left at Monolith was the remains of the studio, and they decided to make Wonder Woman. They were trying to figure out if they could do something with the Nemesis system and all that stuff, and they tinkered around that for a couple of years, and then it wasn't working. So then they decided to make a traditional action adventure game, and then that wasn't working, and now it is canceled. And with that being canceled, Monolith is a shell of what they were, and they are no longer going to exist. Now, this is all because of massive mismanagement and misunderstanding of in bad management and leadership at the WB Games division from the top.
Corporate.
Right? Not understanding things. We covered this a couple weeks ago, back when this article came out from Bloomberg, because Jason Schreier covered all this stuff, right? And I was reading this on FSP on Monday, on a Monday show, and I hadn't seen it before. I just started looking over it, and I was like laughing hysterically at all the decisions that WB made along the way, from even before the merger up until now recent. Now they have new leadership now that's hopefully going to get things on track, but we're seeing the fallout from all of this still. So WB is just in just as bad shape as many of these other games companies out there. Like Ubisoft has made the same mistakes, right? Always chasing trends, not staying true to what made these studios special in the first place, not looking for what can we do that fills our role in the industry. Instead, they're all chasing, hey, see what they did? We need to do our version of that. You know what I mean? And that doesn't ever work. You don't, unless you go bigger, better than anything else out there that exists like that. You can't do that. You got to do your own thing. Ubisoft got in trouble with it. WB just got in trouble with it. And you see Sony started to try and do that, and we see where they're at now too, right? With their pipeline of games. So it's just mismanagement from the top. Hopefully they get on track. It sucks, but if you like Monolith, if you like the games that they made in the past, keep your eye on Cliffhanger Studios at EA, who's making Black Panther, because that's going to be the core team, right? It's like when Starbreeze Studios still exists, right? But most of the talent all left, and who did they create? Machine Games, right? They created Machine Games, and guess what? We get the rebirth of Wolfenstein, which is taking over an existing franchise. We get the rebirth of or the amazing Indiana Jones, which is probably the best licensed game since Riddick back in the day, which was Starbreeze.
Oh, I love
same team.
Riddick.
You know,
That's a great point and everything. Like, but why wouldn't you just sell, like Warner Brothers? Why wouldn't, like, if they're not confident in this team, just why wouldn't you just sell them to another
because
dev?
they you would think that would be the best thing, but what are they selling? Right? Like, the only thing valuable that they had is the Nemesis system at that point, because the talent's all left and formed Cliffhanger. So if you're buying, it's like you're buying the studio for the talent that they have, because WB is not giving up their IPs in that deal. So unless they're willing to give up the Nemesis system, which they're maybe not as well, but I think Cliffhanger will probably make their own version of it and find a way to get around that. So at that point, it's like, what are they worth? And they're not really worth anything if you don't have the talent. It's like if all the talent that studios like that make the best games and the writers, the creative directors, the creative vision all leave, and you're left with other people, and you have to bring other people in to fill it. Like, what is the identity of that studio at that point? And are they capable of doing the same things as the past? And that's unanswered for Monolith. So it sucks to see a developer that I love so much, because I love Fear as well. I loved Condemned also, and I thought the Shadow Mordor games, those 2 games were absolutely excellent. But I don't think learning what we learned from Schreier and his report, and I don't like Schreier, but he does good journalism when it comes to some of this kind of stuff, right? So when we see what the state of their studio was and kind of what they've been dealing with, I mean, we probably weren't going to get that great of it something anyway from them. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But keep your eye on Cliffhanger. The thing about everybody, we all talk about, hey, the industry, all these closures, all these other things, right? It's always dynamic. You have a studio close, you have another studio be created. You know what I mean? So Cliffhanger didn't exist before. If we want to be excited for the kind of games that they made at Monolith in the past, look for Cliffhanger, because they may be the ones that be able to deliver that now.
Sick.
Nice. Any more thoughts on the Monolith thing, guys? Protos or X-Man? Hot? Perry?
No, I don't got too much to say on it.
Perry up there crying?
No,
I'll say
this real quick. Oh, okay. I'll say this real quick. This is what happens when corporate heads start taking control of what their creators want to do, what the people that make the games want to do, and you change their course. They could have been making a great game for that studio, but you wanted them to do something else. If you wanted them to do it, you should have let them know you wanted them to do it way ahead of time, instead of doing it at the last minute when they're like 2-3 years into a project and you want to change their course. That's where you make the mistake. Creators, when they get in love with something, that's when they put all their heart into something. And you just suck the life out of them when you do that. So those people at the top brought it on themselves. And that's all I'm going to say on that. It happens all the time.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah, like I said, you got to feel for another dev who's biting the bullet for some poor management and weird decisions. I just kind of weird, though. You give them a great property, Wonder Woman, to work on, and then cancel it like part of the way through. Do you think it's more of a they didn't like what they were seeing, or they're just getting cold feet thinking that, Wonder Woman is not...
Or they don't know nothing about video games.
When you a lot of these decisions and a lot of these characters are largely, I think, tied into the success of some of the movies. And we saw that the first Wonder Woman movie did really, really well, right? But then they made that Wonder Woman 84 movie, and it was kind of shit, and it kind of tanked compared to the first one. So, do you think that's all part and parcel? I mean, I hated Wonder Woman 84. I thought it was awful, but that first movie was good.
I think that had a lot. I just think that had a lot to do with just more of the shit writing on that. But we aren't talking movies. We're talking games. For me, I just think it's mismanagement on Warner Brothers' part. They don't know what the fuck they're doing with their own properties anymore. They don't know what the fuck they're doing with their own studios anymore. And it's on all ends. It's not just the video game stuff. That's everything. But as it pertains to this, they couldn't run their video game division out of a wet paper bag, man. They just they can't do it. Let them do what they're going to do and print you money. You have all of the tools here to print you money, and you won't have to worry about selling off divisions and shutting down fucking studios, because you have it all in front of you. It's all just mismanagement. Like it was mentioned earlier, chasing trends, and shit like that. Stop doing that. You have everything in front of you, and you're just going to go, chase what you think is good, going to earn you money. It's like, no, you ain't making the next Fortnite. Sorry, ain't happening. Fortnite is Fortnite, and ain't nobody else going to fucking do it.
Warner Brothers, I ain't even doing good with their movies either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Actually, and that's what I was saying. They're just in shambles in general. They can't get it together.
Well, I can guarantee you what they're talking about internally right now. We need to have our own version of Marvel Rivals.
Exactly.
That's what they said. We
They
need
don't
to
have- They
that
don't have
DC
enough
multiverse
characters.
got
for
canceled
Marvel
already.
Rivals. They do not have enough characters like Marvel
Well,
does.
Oh, X-Man, DC has just as much, if not more. And I'm not a big DC guy. I'm a Marvel guy, but they've got equal amounts. They
just haven't been utilized as well with other media.
No, they have not.
Sure.
Not at all.
It's like I think honestly the best thing for WB to do is go the Disney route and just start licensing their IPs to other studios and pitching projects with them. You know, like, man, it'd be awesome to see like all their devs get to make a Batman game or like and stuff like that. You can still have Rocksteady do theirs, you know, and then you but see what other people can do out there. Like I hate that when these shackles are kind of put on these huge franchises with such little resources, because we know how long it takes to make games these days, and WB doesn't even have that many studios to begin with, right? So you're getting DC games, you're only getting one every few years, maybe, unless it's like some little stupid like mobile stuff and smaller projects. But man, if you start licensing these projects out to like other companies, there'd be a ton of people like that would kill to make a Batman game, that would kill to make something like, you know, multiplayer arena thing with Green Arrow versus Batman versus like, I mean, you could just do so much cool stuff.
I'm still
but
waiting
if you're not relying on one thing to be you put all your eggs in this like couple of baskets,
when,
you know,
it's like when they gave LucasArts gave Star Wars to EA, and we had those two Battlefields, and it was like a long contract, and it was at one point it's like, are we waiting for the next Battlefield, or are we just waiting for the contract to end as a gamer? Because I don't know which one I'm waiting for.
Star Wars Battlefront.
So then they're like, oh, we made a mistake. Right?
Yeah, like let's start handing it out, getting products at different times. You know, this one's 5 years. This one might comes out like 2 years after or 2 years before.
But then what happens is one of those games from this other company hits and like takes off, and they're like, oh shoot, we could have made that ourselves and made a lot more money. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like it's like this cycle. Disney's been through it before too. Mm-hmm. They keep changing their mind, but I think what they're doing now is the best route for these popular brands. I would say that about sports games too, man. I'm sick of like having one company make every freaking like sports game the same game every
year.
Give
it back to 2K. Give it back to 2K. Give me a 2K football.
Not even that. Not even that, X-Man. Just some like some arcade style sports games that just take the edge off the
NBA Jam 3.
I was going to say
Fever. You know,
let NetherRealm do some
arcade sports games anymore. It's just the same old fucking shit every year.
Yeah, no competition, no need to change.
Like back in the 360, Xbox One era, and heck, GameCube. My God, you had not only had your regular sports games, but you had like those arcade games. You know, like NFL Blitz, NBA Jams, and all that crazy stuff. You know, and now it's just, man, you get NBA 2K and you got baseball, and it's the same game with, like I said, same skin every year. And people talk about remasters taking your money. Well, heck, you know.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to hear
sports game is every year, but a friggin' remaster, essentially. Just hey, look, we improved a couple of places and we did a couple of updates, and you're going to pay full price for that game.
Yeah, and some people, most people blame EA.
Give me another hot shots golf.
Most people will blame EA or 2K for that stuff, but I blame the license holders. Yeah, it's up to them to be able to decide who to do business with or how to do it. And if you're selling yourself out to one company for a large license fee for exclusivity and all that stuff, and you know that the game's gonna be super popular, so you're gonna make tons of money. Yeah, it's gonna be maybe good for you and it's gonna be good for that company, but it's not good for the fans of your property. Right. And at the end of the day, that's what you should care about most. And it's going to help grow your fandom of your property if you let other experiences exist. So I blame NFL, I blame the NBA, I blame MLB, I blame all these companies. DC, you know, Marvel, Disney's, as much shit as I like to give Disney all the time, at least with their how they're handling the game side is pretty damn good, right? So
You should make a sports game that's like an NFL game now, but it's with all your old retired favorite athletes. Just make up these new teams, but they're all filled with like the old guys that you used to grow up and love. That'd be cool.
Okay, I'm gonna say this.
That'd be a blast.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't care. EA, give me another Burnout 3 style, damn it.
Yep.
Give me another Burnout. I don't need this Burnout Paradise shit. I want the old school way where you and 6 of your friends banging it out and knocking each other off the damn road.
They need a Burnout Paul Walker edition.
Criterion is stuck on Battlefield right now.
Man.
Yeah, I know. I can't believe they got that.
Paul Walker edition.
I can't believe they got Criterion back together, dude. I can't believe that because they were separated for a while.
Yeah, it's like
They
their
were.
Battlefield support studio right now, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, not
No
like,
offense to the WWE games. At least they like when their game is kind of tanking a little bit, they'll take it off for a couple of fucking years and try to make an honest improvement to it.
Well, I'm still waiting for EA to make that new Fight Night they've been talking about for a few years.
I'm down for that. Dude, that sounds like a blast.
We got a couple of super chats coming in. I'll get to those right away. We got one from our good friend from the East Coast of Canada, Mr. Caper Grant's coming in hot and heavy with a Canadian $10 bill. Go ahead, Mr. Gamecomplainers.
He says, "What's up, fellas?"
Cheers.
what's up, Caper?
What's up, dude? What's
What's
up?
going on?
What
This is also in the chat. Our good friend and former co-panel member of Gaming After Dark, the Mag Show. He drops a $5 Canadian.
What?
What's up with all these Canadians?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm glad it's Canadian dollars donation because, well, actually, it'd be more money if it was the United States, but that $5 Canadian is probably worth about 35 cents US right now.
Is it?
Wow.
Y'all giving away like free Labatt Blue in the chat or something like that? What's going on?
Probably.
Chat, Mag.
Meg's giving away free coupons to Bennigan's.
Canadian dollar was worth 69 cents US. It's crazy.
And bubblegum. Bubblegum and coupons to Bennigan's.
Mag says, "Good evening, gents. Great show as always." Clap. Thanks.
Shout out to Tony
What's
Blue.
up, dude?
Thanks, Mag.
What's
Good to
going
see you,
on,
man.
Mag?
All the best to your new channel and all the success, man. Greatly, it's awesome.
Fuck yeah. Love it.
$1.45 Canadian used to buy $1 United States dollar. Yeah, so for you American guys, that if you ever want to come to Canada, it's cool for you dudes. Hit me up if you want to come on a vacation. I'll put you up here because, like I said, you're almost getting $1.50 for your dollar up here. So you're getting more for your buck. We're getting way less when we go south of the border.
Ooh, baby.
I'll come up there and live like a king.
I'm bringing all singles, Newfie. All singles.
That's all right. I got single girls up here I can set you up. I got some Filipino friends that.
Hey.
Oh no, I'm throwing singles. I'm throwing them, baby.
The singles. Oh, I got you. Yeah, you better go to the
we're gonna make it rain at the club with the with
You
with
can
the
hook me
Mario
up.
theme song when you get the star. It's like
Our girls up here start seeing your American dollars to be wiping the sweat off the back. Off the
Hey,
back
dude.
of their ass with those
Just hook me up with a chubby Eskimo. I'm good.
bring the peanut butter. Go ring the peanut
I
butter.
want to live in a fucking igloo in the Northwest Territories.
It's cold up there. It's cold over there where he is.
I'm from Chicago. Trust me, I'm used to the cold.
Yeah, we will handle it.
You might be from Chicago, but wait till you get up in fucking northern Alberta, Northwest Territories, and feel that real Canadian cold setting, and you'll have some major fucking shrinkage. You'll be able to use
No,
saran
That's
wrap
right,
on it.
dude.
No, I've
Oh,
worked out.
that's fine.
I've worked out in minus 40 and 60 degrees before. So outside.
Apparently he didn't come in. Apparently he didn't go inside soon enough.
No, I had to
The
work out
damage
there,
was
dude.
irreversible.
I had to work on that mess, so I know what it's like to be out of cold. weather.
Newf lived there so
It's
long,
like
his is permanent.
Small.
I'm permanently setting. That explains a lot right now, eh? You
Darn
ever had
guys.
ice cream brain freeze? Well, I've had that for about 40 years now.
Newf's just
That,
like
that explains
I'm
a lot.
sorry.
That explains a lot. Yeah.
that. It does.
Part of your hemisphere is still frozen. It ain't thawed out yet.
No. There's a whole back of the lobe back here that's just numb.
It was pretty cold in Texas this year, dude. Like we had
Didn't I just say that they're getting it worse than us?
Yeah, like, it was weird. I mean, we didn't get like a lot of snow here or anything like that, but
Nope, that's why I said I was happy to shovel once.
Yeah, it was like we got single digits a few times. Like it's weird, man.
Yeah,
For
see, that's
Dallas,
why-
it's crazy.
And see, that's why I'm glad now. Today it damn near hit 60 degrees. I was, if I was,
Yeah.
if
I
was
know
allowed
it
to-
was nice, wasn't it?
Oh,
I had the
hell yeah, man.
sunroof open and the windows down. Oh man, it was awesome.
I was almost gonna risk jumping on the bike today because it's like I still can't like drive yet. So it's like I was like, do I do it? Do I do it? Will anybody notice? It's like that might rumble the pacemaker a little too much.
Dude, you're in the Chicagoland area. I've seen people riding around with their convertible top down on the freeway. Come on,
man. I'll ride up until it hits. I'll ride up until it hits below 30.
Yep, me too.
God,
Yeah,
you guys are crazy. You guys are crazy.
No, we just used to it up here.
well,
If it gets
I
a
was
little
gonna-
bit of
I was gonna say
warmth,
that
we
we
are
live in
happy.
Chicago. Yeah, we're a little crazy.
Think about Newf. If it gets 0 out there, man, he's wearing shorts.
That is true. That is true. I wear my shorts when it's -10 going to work. That's still warm for me.
Yep.
It's like, ooh, heat wave.
God.
This fucking icicles hanging off shit. And I'm like, yeah, look at the goal.
And that's when you be like, oh man, something shriveled up.
Where is it? Where'd it go?
I'm sorry, man. When it's that small, it can't shrink very much. You know what I mean?
Wow.
It's now an innie. It's not an outie.
No, that's not what it is, but I'm trying not to say it. This ain't totally that'd be really going rated X. I'm not saying it. Mhm.
Rated X.
Have you ever seen a frozen Vienna sausage?
Sausages. Hey, remember that?
looks like a-
Sausages in a blanket.
Looks like a pig in a blanket.
You've never seen that commercial, my man? The little dog, the dog that went for those treats, and it says sausages in a blanket. Oh, he's too young for that one, dude. He's too young for that commercial.
Yep. It was way before my time there, sir. Tell me about the good old days, man.
A couple topics down. I think we've pretty much crushed them to death as much as we can. Not much to say. It's like I said, unfortunate when it comes to Monolith, but it's not the end of the world. Hopefully, Warner Brothers can get their house in fucking order, or perhaps maybe now that the dust is settled, maybe that'll be the next acquisition of Xbox. Quite potentially, you never know. But yeah, let's talk a little Halo. This was kind of the main topic I wanted to get into. Just because we know there's a lot of stuff that's sort of surrounding it now. We don't know a lot of definitive stuff on what's happening with the next game. We know just recently they had the studio changeover. They changed the name. They're now called Halo Studios versus 343. I'm not really sure why they changed the studio name. I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, I can't help but feel that it's more to like erase the stigma around the 343 name, which really hasn't when most people think of Prime Halo, what do you think of? Bungie, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
When you think of 343, you basically think of more misses than hits. I mean, I don't know, of 343's Halo games, what was their most successful? I mean, they still Halo 4, Halo 5, and Infinite, right? Those are the 3 games they made, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And neither one of them set the world on fire, despite not being any of them being necessarily bad. They still don't stand on the same pedigree that was set before them by Bungie. Now, I don't know. Does anybody here prefer 343 Halos over Bungie's work? That's what I want to know. That's the first question.
Nope.
No.
Halo 2 is always number 1, period, point blank. That's my world I grew up in.
I like the old Halos. I'm there with Proto. But I have to say that I do appreciate how they brought the Halo multiplayer to a futuristic standpoint where the controls are very much 2025, 2024 controls. You know what I mean? Everything's kind of like the sprints there and everything. Like, I do appreciate it. Granted, they weren't as good as Bungie was overall in their 3 versus 3 games, but I do appreciate where they took the multiplayer, at least. Some of the stories are a little up and down, but I like the multiplayer.
I love the super ground pound in Halo 5.
Ugh.
Guardians. That was fun.
Man, call a Halo the Spartan Spat. That's what Halo 5 was. Come on now. And especially because like what they did with like 4 and 5, they were really trying to keep up with like more of the Call of Duty style gameplay. At least to me,
that was not Call of Duty style.
Oh, come on now, with like the continuous sprint and everything like that, and then like you have your
that feel.
And then the special Spartan abilities. A lot of them like were I mean, like with Reach, you had like the different where there were different abilities that you picked up, and that was different enough, and that was fun. But when they tried just making that like an integral part of the game, it changed up the way Halo multiplayer felt. And it's like, you like what you like, and I'm just going to bust your balls about it, X-Man, because I hate Halo 5.
No, but I got Halo 2 is my god tier.
I would say 3 was better, but okay. It's right there.
I was there. It was the first online Halo, and man, I had hours a day, days where I didn't get no sleep in it. So I mean, like, Halo 2 is god tier, dude.
So I'm not going to deny that, because I was right there. The same thing, Halo 2, the first online and shit. Hell yeah, man. But anyway, I don't want to steal the floor right away, so I'll shut up.
It's hard to like, nostalgia always plays a factor, right? So there's never been a bad Halo game. They've all been great. Like Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 2 was my favorite because of the time. Right?
See, I'm not the only one. You getting outvoted, buddy. Deal with it.
I loved Halo 3 almost as much. Like Halo 4, I had a blast with, even though it got some criticism at the time. But like 343 taking over, Reach was amazing, right? But 343 taking over was always going to be a uphill battle for them, because you're taking over at the time from what was known as like the creme de la creme of like first person shooter developers, and trying to and stay the course on one of the biggest franchises ever. But I think they did a good job for what it's worth. It's just not going to live up to the scrutiny of Halo, because Halo has more expectations than any other franchise. You have to have everything in the game. If you're missing one feature, you're going to get annihilated. It's going to get blown out of proportion to an insane level. So every Halo game has that level of scrutiny that I don't think other properties have. But
the one feature you should never miss out: Master Chief is the main character.
No, Reach did pretty good.
No, I was going to say Reach is my favorite.
Halo 3 ODST. Halo 3 ODST. Like all these, I mean, I think like just ultimately I want more experiences with Halo. Like we get, I said the same thing about the DC characters, how they're so limited because it's so few studios have the chance to make the big games, right? Like I would like to see Halo also being made with different kinds of games in different ways as well, because it's a huge universe. I think Halo Studios has a chance to do some amazing things with it, with UE and stuff. But we'll see, man.
It does not need a battle royale. It does not.
No, I agree with that. But it's like, and see, that's the thing to riff off of what Matt was just saying. Like doing different games. They did that for a bit. With Halo Wars 1 and 2. You got your RTS games, and those were both
amazing. I would dream of a Halo Wars 3. Right?
Oh, hell yeah, man. No doubt. I think, because I'm going to disagree with you a bit on 4 and 5, and just because I actually just recently replayed like the entire series. So it's like, and then going into like 4, and I played 4 at launch. It was like, it's all right, but it wasn't even to say it was like, for me, it wasn't even like ODST. It was like, but then replaying it and then just dealing with it, I didn't realize how many performance issues there were, like cutscenes cutting out audio, falling through the map for no reason, soft locking. I mean, numerous.
I had that a lot of Halos. Even Halo 2, I had that. I mean, that's a Halo thing.
Nah, see, I didn't soft lock or anything in any of the old Bungie games. And like I said, I recently just replayed these.
Absolutely.
So it's like, but it's like with 4, it was like the story was cool, and I was like, all right, I'll deal with it being kind of like lackluster. But for me, 5, it just shit the bed everywhere. I hated the multiplayer. The story sucked. The marketing lied to you about it. it was like that. That's why I loved Infinite so much because I really enjoyed Infinite. I
You
really
like
did.
that open world thing. That's the thing that you like.
And there's little bits here, and when we get into more of it, I'll talk about it. But overall, I loved Halo Infinite. I thought it was a step in the right direction.
I'm more of a linear Halo player.
Well, I and so am I, and I understand that. But even like Halo 1, in CE, you could sequence break, those missions.
I've said this on previous podcasts, and I'll say it again. I think one of the biggest problems with Halo, Mav said it right. There's a lot of expectations on it. If you leave something out, everybody's going to criticize it. You're going to have people that love certain things about one game and something about another, but therein itself lies part of the problem. The studios can't figure out what they want to present to the fans, right? They're trying to please the old school fans. They're trying to please the Bungie fans. They're still trying to make something of their own. And, the one thing that hasn't strayed away from Call of Duties, for example, despite the Call of Duties have done World War, they've done Modern Warfare, they've done sort of futuristic warfare, blah, 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 but they come back and they always feel fairly similar. There's a cohesion, and that's something that Halo misses is cohesion. And I said proof in the pudding is go and play Master Chief Collection, right? If you play Master Chief Collection, you play games 1, 2, 3, all those games that are in that collection, and play the multiplayer in particular. And tell me that each game doesn't feel fucking so different from the one before it. And I've always said, like that's the weird thing. And I'm not talking, they just look different. The graphics that's one thing. You expect the graphics to look different over time with improvements to the game engines. But you look at the way 4 plays, for example, compared to how number 2 plays. They introduced the dual wielding, then they took out the dual wielding, and then they made some guns very OP, and then they kind of nerfed other guns. And there's a lot of tinkering with the formula, and you never feel like while you're playing Halo, you're in the universe. You never feel like you're technically playing the same fucking game. It's like, what the hell did he do with this one? What did he do with this one? Every time a Halo came out, it's almost like you had to relearn the whole fucking thing again. You had to relearn how a gun would shoot or the timing and different things. And I said, I think that's, at least for me, that's part of my problem with Halos are great for the stories, but people hang around for the multiplayer. It's like most games.
Yeah.
I think they got to get back to a great story. Linear, I think, if you want to tell a great story that is without distractions, I think the best way to do it is linear because it keeps you on. It keeps you on track. It keeps you going where you want the audience to go. With Halo Infinite, the greatest game as it is, it does have some great stuff by being able to kind of do what you want to do when you want to do it and go different places. I applaud sort of trying to change it up. But at the same time, again, you sort of lose that in touch with the narrative because you're kind of like, you're seeing the story at a different pace. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's kind of hard to explain it, but it just, like I said, it had its benefits, but it just felt off to me. It felt off. And I think one of the biggest disappointments, and this might have been the fact that Halo was supposed to be this launch title for the Series X. It was supposed to be a showcase title. We, a year into it, we were talking about Craig more than we were talking about the game, right? We all remember that fucking debacle, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Then the game finally releases, and while you got to give the studio full credit by kind of going back to the drawing board a little bit and delaying it to get, more of the presentation up to snuff. That to me, I still go back and play Infinite and I go, man, boy, did they ever miss on this one, because honestly, I think that if you go back and look at the graphics in Halo 5, they look way better than Infinite's graphics. And that was on a different piece of hardware. So it's like, what the fuck happened here? I don't know.
See, I'll go against that point.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I'm gonna. Because 4 and 5 were pretty. They were pretty games. I'll give them that. They look good. But I appreciated what Halo Infinite did because it went back. Like, you look at Master Chief in Infinite and you can you recognize him. From 3, 2 and 3 and stuff like that. And it's like, and as far as you're going on gameplay in the open world, that my one gripe with that in Infinite was where, like you said, you lost focus. Yeah, it'll steer you in the right direction and keep the campaign going and stuff. And I think I think it was a step in the right direction to try something different, but I think they tried too much too soon because you can get lost in that map just doing all these side things, hitting your fobs, getting all your collectibles and stuff, and then hitting the priority targets and shit like that. I get that, but it was almost overwhelming. You know, so I can see what you're saying there. That's where I think that they slipped, but it was still a step in the right direction. It was promising. It was like, okay, they didn't land completely here on the open world thing, but it's like you can build on that. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I totally see what you mean. Yes, I mean all Halos. I don't think there was a bad game. I think there was different expectations and things got a little disappointing. You know what I mean? I really liked Locke. For example, with 5, I really liked Locke. The problem was, like I said, it was misleading because the way that they set that game up, it was like it didn't live up to sort of like the commercials and the stuff that they led into. Like the game was a little bit deceiving. And then you ended up spending a lot more time with Locke than you did as Chief. And it was like, what the frick is going on here?
I miss my Prometheus weapons that they took out of Halo Infinite. I love my
Prometheus weapons. Those things.
You know what? I like my Prometheus weapons. That was my favorite.
You can go ahead and like them all you want. You can go ahead and be wrong over there. That's fine.
I love my Prometheus weapons,
but they did.
I just didn't like fighting against the robots and stuff. I didn't like fighting.
Amen. I agree with you, Mav. I didn't like these fucking disappearing robots either.
Oh, the Prometheans was like the worst, man. That was like, what are they doing?
Give me the Covenant. Give me the Banish. Give me the Flood.
Yeah. I was talking about the personality with the Prometheans. That's the thing. There's no personality. Like even the grunts, as silly as sort of as they are, like it's the banter that you hear with the grunts and the little noises, and then you had, everybody remembers.
I love the sparkle heads when you get a headshot on them, and the
Sangheili elites were. You know, when you first fight your Sangheili elites and they're fucking invisible, and they come up with the sword and you scare the shit out of you.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I mean, what is it going to take to make Halo great again? You know, like this is kind of like a reset at this point, right? And I don't know, like, will we see another Halo on this generation, or will it be for the next wave of Xbox hardware? I would assume it's going to be a few years away before we see anything. Did making Halo free to play, did that move the needle at all for Halo? Do you guys think so?
Oh, yeah.
I do. I have something multiplayer. I got something to kind of to build off of what you just said, Newf, and it kind of touches what everyone else was just building off, especially Proto and Mav. When I was looking back at it, I like the name change. Just due to the fact, like you said, there's a lot of controversy within each game due to personal reasons for each person out there. And I just think that when you change the name, it's like when your dad's a superstar. You know what I mean? It's like your dad's Michael Jordan and you're just kind of living in the shadow. You're always just going to have those expectations, and maybe you want them, maybe you don't want them. I think the name change kind of gives you a clean slate. It's like when you get an ex-girlfriend and they cut their hair the day after. You know what I'm saying?
Sinead O'Connor. Why?
Yep, they got to change their look the next day. But I have an idea to throw at you guys, and I thought about it earlier. You said, where does the direction go? How can we make Halo successful? Granted, yes, I say let's put it on PlayStation. More eyes, more people playing it, more fun, just equals great time. But to build off of that, what if you started doing, you take Halo Studios and say it's big enough. You split it into 2. You do one that just solely focuses on the multiplayer. I like how it is now. I don't think you have to build that much off of it. But if you do in the second half and you just do a campaign with the second team and you pump out more campaigns like Destiny did, I think you have people playing it and coming back and coming back and coming back, because it's just like you have a campaign, you leave it at a cliffhanger, you put it like another piece of a campaign in another piece. I think that would thrive, in my opinion. Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe you guys don't think so, but I just wanted to throw out that idea.
That's what I thought Infinite was going to be.
That's what everybody thought Infinite was going to do.
Yeah. That's what the 10-year plan was, what I had in my head, but
exactly. And I don't think they would ever do this, the lending out. They would never take the Halo thing and lend it out like Star Wars. They would have to be like that's what I'm thinking, small idea, and just split the team up.
Well, like
focus.
If you have like, okay, so like if you have all these studios, like Xbox acquired ABK, right? They got all these other in-house studios too that could do different things. Like they outsourced Halo Wars. Those were maybe at the time during the Xbox One era not able to reach as big of an audience as it could today with Game Pass existing and the wide range they have of people being able to access their games. So like experiences like that, I think can be great. They went to Creative Assembly for those, right? So even in-house, if you just look at everything that they got in-house too, like
Yeah.
let's say id puts their feet in the water in something, or like the coalition does something, or it just there's just opportunities there to explore.
Yeah.
But if you have multiple studios doing different things, it kind of takes the pressure off of the main thing a little bit, because
Mhm.
Halo fans in general, like everybody, we could sit here and argue for days amongst us which is the best Halo game, or is
Mhm.
Infinite better than 5, or how important is it for split screen co-op to be in the game at launch, or
Nobody cares
like
about
is
that no
Forge
more.
like at launch, okay, like all these different things. Halo Infinite got a lot of criticism early because Forge
Yeah.
wasn't there at launch, split screen co-op wasn't there, and co-op wasn't there at launch, and these different things. But like no other big games have those expectations. Like you can look at a game like The
Exactly.
Last of Us that was supposed to come out with the factions mode, and then they just ended up canceling it way later. And it's like everybody's, it's okay, it's what it is, right? But like
Yeah.
Halo has to have every single thing under the sun. It has to play better than any other Halo. It has to look better than any other Halo. It has to have the best story out of any other Halo, and it also has to have the most maps. It's got to have every mode at launch, ready to go. In this day and age, with everything they're trying to tackle, the only game that comes close to doing that is Call of Duty, which they have an entire publisher making that game, right? They have like 8 studios that are pitched in to make these Call of Duty games and stuff. So it's just like hard. And I think as Halo fans, the best thing we can do is be open-minded to like new things and possibilities, especially going forward. In UE, my fear in the past, and I was against switching to UE in the past whenever because I was excited about Slip Space. Because I knew that there's gonna be a Havoc physics engine is gonna be the same feeling except just better, right? But going forward, like with UE, and can they capture the same exact feel? I don't know. But is it gonna be important anymore? I don't know. Halo Infinite wasn't a failure.
Well, let
It
me
was
ask
a
you this
financial
also.
success also. So I
How
don't know.
important? How important is the engine? Because we know that the original Halos, they were largely successful because they were built on the Havoc engine, and then they changed the engine, obviously to that Slip Space engine for Halo Infinite. That was a huge change, and that was a big part of their battle. We knew that right from the start. They had to kind of go back and retool things and figure out how to make it work. And when you got nobody to call on, when you're making your own engine and you got no experienced people to call on because nobody's dealt with it before, I think that was a large part of the battle. It was the reason I think Halo Infinite was off to such a slow start, because they're building something from scratch. Now, there must have been some sort of advantage, or they thought there was an advantage to go with that route. But a lot of people inside the industry right now that, of course, Xbox, owning Bethesda, think that Halo should largely be built on the id engine. What do you guys think about that? Would you think that might be a safer bet? Maybe it's the move to a proven engine that certainly worked for Doom. Maybe it can work for Master Chief too.
They switched to UE, so if they switch again, we're just going to be waiting even longer. Like, let's
Oh,
just stick
for
to
sure,
what
yeah.
they're doing now, and then see
Yeah.
how it works out. And if it doesn't work out, then they could look at something.
So
But
the
I
new
think
Halos you think are being built on Slip Space, or did they
no,
announce it?
they're on. They've already announced it's being built
Yeah,
in Unreal.
UE5.
They're
I
on
remember
UE5 now.
announcing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
they made a
on Unreal
big
5.
announcement
Okay.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Just
but
go
we
with
have
whatever's
to
best.
realize as fans that means they have to implement that with all of their modes and all those things too. So it's like it's going to be it's an undertaking to move the entire experience of what they do with Halo into a brand new engine.
Oh,
But it'll be worth it.
It'll
But
be
in a
worth
sense,
it.
It'll take
Oh, yeah.
that extra time and love, but at the end of the day, it'll make it easier moving forward for the franchise and the people coming into the studio making the game down the line.
But if it doesn't
Totally
have
agree.
co-op at launch, if it doesn't have this mode at launch or this mode at launch, it's still going to get killed. But like people don't realize like the amount of undertaking it's going to have switching to something completely new.
Just
like
stay with
that.
what you know.
Right.
If they feel
Well,
comfortable,
we all know that the Unreal Engine is a beautiful engine, and most of the games that run it well look extremely good, from a texture standpoint and fidelity and stuff. But we've also known that the Unreal Engine is very memory taxing. A lot of the best games when they run on Unreal, a lot of times, if you're not running great hardware, those things fucking can chug, right? Yeah, this game is running at 10 frames a second. Looks amazing though.
The Unreal
I'm running at 30 frames. Everybody,
they used to create great multiplayer and story games with Unreal Engine, Unreal tournaments, dude. So
my thing is, and to go off of what Matt was saying, is like I'm good with the change, and Unreal over the years has been a proven engine. If you're not optimizing it correctly, it can be a little bit of a hassle. But most of the time, games using Unreal, that means it's going to be quality. So I got no problem.
And it's going to be fast.
Yeah, I got no problem with that. And I think, just a little teaser that they showed, it looks like it's going to be, decent as far as what they're going to try and do with it. I know it was like 30 seconds or something, but it was like it looked good. So yeah, and being that it's Unreal, it's a proven engine. It's going to look good. It's going to play good. What I think, to kind of answer the question of the topic itself, at least for me, can Halo be great again? Yeah, if they make it a priority again. And I know that's going to be real difficult on Microsoft's end. I mean, obviously Halo Studios now is going to do that because that's what they are. But Microsoft has to go back and make it a priority again. And that's going to be difficult for them because now they've got all these studios. Now their big priority, because they own it, is going to be fucking Call of Duty, right? That's, at the end of the day, they're going to look at it as like, well, Halo's kind of fallen off, which I could go on for days about that's Microsoft's fucking fault. They let that shit slip. That's what brought them to the dance in the first place, was fucking Halo.
And then what advantage is?
Let's just catch up with a couple of super chats real quick. I want to get Perry's thoughts on some of it.
One studio to make this game. Only one. That's all they got to do. Right. That's the only thing to do. So that's why it's going to work.
So the Magnus there earlier didn't get to read a super chat, but he did drop $5 Canadian. Go ahead, Perry.
Good evening, gents. Great show as always. Clap.
All right, we got Splendiferous coming in with $2.
Sir
I think
X-Men
this is about Sir X-Men talking about he liked the Promethean weapons.
Oh, I love
it. Sir X-Men just likes feeling the controller vibrate. Oh, man.
Then we got, of course, the GameComplainers dropping his own coin in the podcast chat. $5.
Halo versus Arnold's Maids. There you go.
That's an interesting game concept. And we got Splendiferous coming back in again with another $5.
Halo could be its own multiverse. They need more super strong villains. There has to be more teams of Spartans. It can also be so much more. It's space, man.
Indeed.
That is one thing I miss about older Halos. You could be the Arbiter or you could be Chief. And I like being the Arbiter every now and then, when I'm playing multiplayer.
Well, it's got such a huge universe. You could go, and this is like tapping into its extended universe and shit like that, but that's all wish listing at this point. You know what I mean?
And I miss that. And I miss dual wielding. I do miss dual wielding so much.
I do too.
So let me ask you this, Perry. Let's go on to this side of the coin, right? So Halo like appeals to the hardcore. Most of us here, I can tell by talking to this chat, there's a lot of passion for this franchise. I mean, look at Matt's room there. He's got the Master Chief's helmet right behind him, so I can tell he's obviously a big fan. I have that same helmet. It's really cool, by the way. But like most of us, like if you're an Xbox fan, Halo's played a huge role in the reason we are Xbox fans. Xbox had, Halo has been a flagship title. They picked it up early. It hit it, and again, it was at the time it was a success largely due to timing as well, because there really wasn't a ton of at least console games that could rival the original Halo Combat Evolved. You know what I mean? It was really like a first of its kind for a console setting. You might have been familiar with Unreals and Dooms and stuff on your PCs, but to see a game that looked this good and ran that cool, it had a story, it had this amazing like character that, just kind of resonated immediately with people. And it had, for years he kept that mystique, that mystery, kind of like the Darth Vader thing, right? You don't see his face, you very elusive, that sort of stuff. So and that was cool because again, they've all, like people always said too, when it's a character that wears a mask, anybody can imagine themselves being Master Chief. It doesn't matter what race or color or where you come from, you could be the Master Chief, right? Which was kind of cool. You just knew a voice, and we had things about it we learned down the road. But like I said, it came out. It was really a product of its time, and Halo 2 was just like massive. And again, that was because Halo did so well. It set success up for Halo 2 and Halo 3. But I would say after 4 in particular, we started to notice a little bit of a Halo drop off. A little bit that might be the fact that development cycles got longer, the change in the teams. Or maybe the marketing changed as well, because we all saw the massive marketing that Microsoft put into Halo 2 and Halo 3 back in the day. And
they were trying new things.
Anymore. But who does Xbox go after now? Should they focus really on the people that made Halo great to begin with and focus on the hardcore fans who will come out for it? Or are they going to keep trying to capture those Fortnite dollars and catering to that crowd? Because I've also seen a little shift, and you see this in a lot of shooters. Call of Duty is friggin' victim number one, like trying to cater to that crowd, because look at the skins they got in the game. They had Ninja Turtles into for crying out loud, like all this kind of stuff. And it's like who are you trying to appeal to anymore? Like we don't know. But so who do you think Microsoft really needs to focus with the marketing here? Because that's going to play a huge part into the success of the next Halo. You know it is.
I think Halo needs to kind of be like Doom as far as who they're marketing it towards, the hardcores. But again, you have to change it up to appeal to the masses as well. You have to find that in between, because you have to sell the game to a lot more people, and you have to sell the game to the hardcores. The hardcores are going to judge it based on how it is as a game. The casuals, they'll play it, and if they like it, they'll stick around. But you kind of need both. You need both audiences. So you got to find the balance, and I don't know what it is. I think if they just put a solid game together this time around, and word of mouth gets out there, and they do everything they can to rehabilitate the brand, it can be done. But how are they going to do it? That's going to be the question, and it'd be interesting to see where they go and how they.
I also want to ask you guys an interesting question. Which version of Master Chief did you guys like the best? He went through different armor iterations. By the time we saw him in Halo 5, I forget what version of the Mark armor he was on, but it's obviously a different suit than he wore in Halo Combat Evolved. And we saw him sort of revert a little bit to the more of the tank-like styling in Halo Infinite. So which version of you guys, I'm going to call it the Fat Chief or the Skinny Chief. Which Chief do you guys like best? Barry?
I'll go Fat Chief.
Fat Chief? Proto?
Fat Chief. All day.
Hot?
I like him thick, boy.
Fat Chief?
That boy
Sir
is
X-Man?
thick. That boy is thick.
Sir X-Man, you like Fat Chief or Skinny Chief?
Wake up, Sir X-Man. Time to wake up. La, 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 la.
No,
I want Tranny Chief.
I like Halo 2 and Halo 3 Chief.
Okay. And then, Matt, which version of the Chief's look do you like the best?
Any way I can get Chief is how I like it.
He likes some lean, green, and
Did
fucking
you say
meat, right?
any way you could get
And
cheeks,
thick.
you like it?
Chief.
He liked the Paramount show the best. He liked Master Chief.
I
Yeah.
understand understand that Master Chief, whatever. Anyway,
Eat a guy off a guy. I can't. I got married.
thick, slim, it doesn't matter. He's a badass.
In this day and age, that don't
Yeah,
matter.
that's a badass.
In
It
this
is.
day and age, that don't matter, dude.
I like the styling of the Thin Chief. I like the way he looked in Halo 5 with that armor. That's how I like it.
So people complained when they saw the UE5 version of his like thicker chest. They're like, "Oh, he looks fat now. What's going on?"
Newf wants to throw him around.
Maybe,
You guys say, I
maybe
want
he's
my
old
little.
and he's expanded. Who the fuck knows?
Oh, I laughed at that discourse. I thought that was funny. It's like, oh,
Yes.
good lord.
People are just looking for something like
do you
anytime.
like
I thought-
Master
As long as
Chief?
they don't put nipples on the Master Chief's armor, we're okay, right?
Okay, here's a question.
No cheap nipples.
Who like
Yo.
Master Chief suit and the Master Chief in the Halo
I
series?
want them Batman nipples.
Huh?
Like in
Who
the
like-
show,
who-
I thought
yeah,
his
in
suit
the
looked
show.
amazing in the show.
I thought it
Okay.
looked great when he had his helmet on.
Yeah.
The less said about the Halo show, the better.
Unless you want to talk about his ass, we can stay here all
season
day.
2 was good. Season 2 was good.
You guys probably saw the news that Netflix has picked up the show. Now, that doesn't mean they picked it up to like it's going to have a season 3, but Netflix has purchased the show off of Paramount to show it on their streaming service. So now, potentially, if the show becomes big on Netflix, it could result in perhaps Netflix ponying up the dough to buy the license over from them or bring it over and then produce it themselves. They do have that potential.
I will tell anybody that's never seen it, watch season 2.
I watched season 2. I wish I hadn't.
Season 2 was good, dude.
It's the time I'll never get back.
I mean, what at this point, X-Man, what's better, a wet fart or a dry fart? I mean, Jesus Christ!
I mean, either way,
all
it smells
to begin with. Yeah,
beggars can't be choosers. It's going to be a smelly room regardless.
Especially for that extended media coming off of shit like Forward Unto Dawn and like Legends and shit, and then you go to Master Cheeks. Go fuck yourself. That shit was awful.
That was in season 1. They did the cheek thing.
Well, I know that, but he just never lived it down from there, and then he couldn't keep his helmet on to save his fucking life. Nobody cares about that actor. Nobody cares about him.
Was it 2-3 episodes of fucking
one more time. What happened was this whole thing was a prelude to Reach. Before
supposed to be, but then they changed the fucking arbiter around.
He had to show his ass to get the Halo Reach.
Halo Reach around.
It was the build up to Reach. So they started way before Reach was technically the beginning of Halo and his universe.
Right.
So we don't know. They made a whole new story line.
But see, this is a perfect point. That's a great segue because the show itself, based on Proto's emotion here, and I don't know how you guys all felt of the show. I mean, I thought it was okay for the most part, but it had a certain amount of gripes with it. But this is just
we all did.
Again, they made this show, but then who did they make it for? Because it sounds like for the most people that complained about it, they didn't make it for the actual average Halo fan. They made it to try to make new fans. And they took a lot. I mean, I'm not talking a couple of liberties, but they took a lot of liberties with the story, the lore, the franchise, and it pissed a lot of people off.
So they created like the entire silver timeline for this, which is different than the main timeline, which is we can feel however we want one way or the other about it. I thought the show was okay. I thought the end of season 2 is when it was like, okay, now we're finally starting to get
Halo, right?
Finally starting to get somewhere, but then we found out we're not getting a new season. So I think they had a chance. The part of my main issues with the show was for it being Showtime and Paramount's like biggest budget thing they've ever made. I don't know how the CG sucks so much. Like they had some really bad like graphical stuff and CG and different episodes, and I see other things like on Netflix or other channels that do way better with some of that stuff. So I think just in actual production, the team that's in charge of creating a lot of the assets and everything for the show didn't do a very good job. They didn't need to have the whole love affair thing between Mickey and Chief. That was kind of a waste of time. But I think it could live on if Netflix picks it up and enough people watch it on Netflix. I think there's a hope for it because part of the reason that it was shut down at Paramount because Paramount was struggling so much and bleeding money, and it's their biggest budget show. So at that point, that it was given back to Microsoft with the hopes to find a new partner, and then now them going with Netflix. Netflix has a much larger audience than Paramount Plus to begin with, right? So it has some potential there. They can use that. I think the Gears has something going to Netflix too.
Yeah.
So well, you know what I can definitely see moving forward. It's probably going to save companies a lot of freaking money in the long haul, especially when it comes to special effects. Is they're going to end up having AI make special effects.
I want the guy. You know who I want to redirect in season 3? I want to see the guy that did the remake of 2004's Battlestar Galactica, because that was some great graphics and story in that game. That's who they should hire to do that. Seriously. Because it would be perfect. And it's all sci-fi too? Come on, man.
Yeah, I wish we would have gotten the old movie, the Peter Jackson with Neil Blomkamp. That one that was canceled.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah. Yeah, and then it
What are you
turned into
talking about?
they made that movie afterwards, right after that Alien movie. What the hell was it called? Area 9 or something? What was it?
Yep. Hey, I was
District 9. District 9.
9. It ended up being District 9, yeah.
That was a good movie.
As a matter of fact, they say in District 9, if you look at some of the props, some of the weapon props, there's actually a lot of, they actually look very reminiscent to Halo weapons, because I think they were already building some of that stuff for the Halo film before it got canceled, and they just kind of tweaked them and put them in District 9.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I would go to the team that did the Fallout show and say, "Hey, do you guys want to handle Halo?"
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah,
we know you're gonna get quality.
Yeah, that's probably the best adaptation I've seen of a game property in a long time.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I mean, there's more interpretation, I think, in Fallout. Like where, and that's the thing. Like if you don't have all these set properties or set lore, there's more room to work with a property. I mean, that's the problem with Star Wars is they fucking took that shit and they ran it so far off the deep end. Now it's not even funny. Like you ain't coming back. Like they ran that fucking property right into the Sarlacc pit, and the fucking thing just regurgitated out its ass. Like I can't even bear with it. And I used to love Star Wars to the 9th degree, and I fucking hate it with a passion now. Like it's garbage. I watched the first season of The Mandalorian. After that, I was out. I was like, I'm fucking enough of this shit.
How about the guy that did Live, Die, and Repeat with Tom Cruise? Those are great graphics. And the monster design was good. Yeah. And that battle suit. Oh, that battle suit. Oh,
yeah, but
man.
when you gotta do graphics of that quality, and you gotta do them over the course of 10 to 12 shows, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I understand that, and again, and even going into like taking liberties and shit, I understand that too. You can't have.
But you get what you pay for.
Exactly. What they spent a whole bunch on this budget, and for what? To see Master Cheeks? Fuck all that.
I'm all here for the ass. That's all I'm here for.
It's like they went so far off the deep end. It's like there's some interpretations where it's like you can see where they take liberties with. It's like, okay, I can get that. Like I used to bitch all the time about like The Walking Dead because I'm a big fan of the books, and then when the series did what it did and deviated far away from the books, I bitched and just jumped out. But I understand that they still kept it, in spirit of that series. But this was so far removed, and you can say whatever you want. Like, oh, well, this was set, this is now a different timeline, which is the easy way to just kind of wave your hand, wave it, right? Like, oh, well, this is a different timeline now, and
like when they did the Star Trek, the Kelvin timeline. I'm like, really?
Yeah, and it's like you can hand wave it all you want, but they've already done this stuff with extended media, with Halo in particular. Like I mentioned, they've had direct to DVD stuff, and a lot of that shit. Like go back and watch Forward Unto Dawn. That looks a million times better than fucking the Halo series, and that was a direct to DVD fucking series.
Yeah, that was good.
Where's your excuse?
Yeah.
That's why I
said my boy. Not to mention the Halo show that those two girls that played the Spartans. Holy fuck, Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones looks like Britney Spears compared to those two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but they were Spartans in the beginning. They were his they were his team that he had in the beginning before they all died. So that's why Chief was the last one left. At the end of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else died.
Spoilers for the
best. If you ain't seen it by now, that's a you problem.
True enough. I don't know. We all got our takes on this, and like I said, it's definitely good stir of debate. I just, and I'm pretty sure we all are one agreement here is that we want Halo to come back. We want it to come back in a big way, and we want it to feel like a flagship and the proper Halo that the fans deserve, Xbox deserves as moving forward. a lot of it's go back to your fans, go back to, bring in people in the team that are passionate about it, that want to work on the project, that know what they're up against. It's the kind of people that got to shut off their brain, right? You bring in developers who are like, this is your role. You know what you got to do. Don't bring in your politics. Don't bring your social agendas. Don't bring your bullshit. You're just here to fucking work on Halo. Here's the lore. Here's your background script. Make this fucking work, right? We're pleasing the Halo fans first, and you worry about the rest later. You're not worried
what's
about
good about Netflix,
Billy is playing fucking Fortnite, because nothing pisses me off more than fucking, hey, that Halo guy, that's the guy from Fortnite. Like, fuck off. Like,
hey, Newf, what's going to be good about Netflix? You can binge watch it. You ain't got to wait every damn week for an episode.
I don't subscribe to Netflix anymore. It's not a ripoff.
I still got it. That shows I watch on Netflix.
That's the problem, Netflix. All fucking shows now. When I used to get it was good movies, and that was all fucking made for television TV shows by Netflix. Like, geez, maybe they should put some porn on there. I might subscribe to it then. Huh?
Net porn.
Fucking, yeah, let's put some fucking dirty ass shows on there. Fucking titties flying everywhere. I'll be all up in there.
But then you'll make God upset, because then he'll have to change from being the Hub King to the Flicks King.
Yeah, dude, I'll be the porn flicks, bro.
That's what I was just about to say.
$5.99 a month, you can add the porn
Netflix
tab to your Netflix.
And if you get the $20 a month special, they'll even come to your house.
Oh, shit. You won't want them to, though. You'll get gonosyphilis.
Yeah, I'm gonna open my door. It's gonna be Sir X-Man.
Sir X-Man's hoping to get abducted by a Promethean.
Watch for the
get something on that's for sure.
Don't mock it. That Promethean rifle was the bomb, dude. I don't care what anybody says.
One way or another.
All right, guys. I guess unless there's any final thoughts, we will leave it here because we're well over runtime here now. We're going to end the show. We got our usual cast of characters waiting in the wings for a couple of questions. Amazing chat tonight. One of the best we've seen in a while. Great conversation in there as well. Cougar Man, Splendiferous, Talos Ray, Dark Zone, what's going on, brother? Mag is in the chat. Like the list goes on. BT Maverick is here. Mental 9R. You name it. Fazah. We saw Anthony L in here earlier. Dreadpool's in the chat. So we got Pink Piggles in here. Fuzzy Tomato. There's a great name. Any relation to Fuzzy Belvedere? Stacey's in the house. The list goes on. Thanks, guys. It's greatly appreciate that everybody came out to enjoy the show, and I hope you came out to show your appreciation.
Tomatoes do have fur on them.
What?
Technically, tomatoes do have a light skin of fur on them.
I don't know what tomatoes
It's like
you
my
mean.
head.
So do pizza.
Hey, little fuzz.
That's called, Sir X-Men, I hate to break it to you, but that's called mold.
The more you know.
More I don't want to know.
Stop mentioning Schoolhouse Rock stuff. No, that was the NBC thing. That's right. I remember that.
So, anybody got questions for Arnold, Safehouse, or Cletus? And as I said earlier at the top of the show, Handy Andy will be back next week live on camera.
I got one for Safe House.
Go ahead, man.
All right, Safe House. What did you think when you saw Master Chief's cheeks for the first time?
Lion. Big fucking his ass, cock ass motherfucker on screen. What the fuck is this? I don't ever remember fucking playing the video game and seeing fucking cheats all over the fucking place. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but how the hell did they deviate from that? I was out there shooting grunts and now I'm fucking smashing cunts. What the fuck is going on? I mean, what the fuck kind of Halo game is it? I lost all my shit. Not to mention I had to fucking see Mr. Schnoz. I mean, that fucking actor that played him, what the fuck is his name? God, fucking hungry. So wonder that thing could even fit underneath that fucking helmet, man. Seriously, no wonder he had to take the helmet off. He probably couldn't breathe. The boogers are fucking flying in his fucking mouth. But, man, fucking shit bothered.
I got one.
But anyway, I got one. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that. I mean, there should have been a little more titties for me, but I'll be all right there.
Hey, Cletus, what do you think of your buddy Arnold doing a butt cheeks in Terminator.
Well, you know, back in the 80s, if you got to see Arnold Schwarzenegger's butt cheeks, that wasn't such a bad thing. I got me kind of excited because, I mean, I looked at that as the epitome of a human being. I was like, I wish I had a fucking ass that looked hard and rock solid as Arnold Schwarzenegger's ass.
Oh my God!
If I had an ass like that, man, I'd still be getting some coochie from the old lady. But instead, my asshole looks like a fucking 10-pound bag of cottage cheese stuffed in a fucking 1-pound potato sack. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
Arnold, you got a rebuttal to what Cletus said?
Well, I'm really glad that he came out here and he liked my ass. I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, if you want to see my ass, I'm going to put it on camera for you, but I don't know if you guys are ready for the hairy jungle. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
I am not in the bodybuilding competition, so I'm not waxing like I used to. But it's great. I mean, anybody that loves my ass is awesome. Most of the time, they're talking about my biceps or something like that. But Cletus is great. I'm glad that you got excited for it.
Damn.
Oh, we got a super chat coming in from RWK. He drops $4.99. Take it away, Perry.
Arnold, Fable was delayed to avoid your game maids 2, not GTA 6. Don't you agree?
What the hell? I don't even know where the first Maids game went. Where's the hell is Maids 2? Did I make it and did I dream about it? Did somebody make it and not tell me? Because, I mean, I should be getting royalties from that shit. Of course. The Maid Banger. That's what we call it. Like I said, it's a minute to maid. It's a minute to win it. You got to go around there and you got to find out that these ladies in the mansion, they're going around in the lost. You got to open the doors. That's what the game's about. And when you find them, you grind them. You know what I mean? You take them to bed. That's what you do. But I don't know about the sequel. But I'm sure as hell to be interested in the main game.
Wow. Stellar Terminator.
And we got one up here from Cougar Man.
I got one from Cougar Man.
Yep.
Where's that one?
Up a little bit. I can't, for whatever, highlight it. There you go.
Hey, Arnold, do you want to see more games with TNA, like Stellar Blade and DOA?
And I'll get back, first of all, that is amazing because it rhymed. Do you want to see more TNA, like Stellar Blade and DOA? Of course. I mean, who wouldn't? I mean, a man. And you want to see the high-hanging fruit, the low-hanging fruit. You want all of it. I want it. There's not enough of it in games. I mean, lots of movies have been doing it for years. They've been showing off TNA in all sorts of the movies. And here in the games, it's like all of a sudden you see a booby and someone's freaking out. I mean, it doesn't matter. You can take a semi-automatic and blow the brains out of 5,000 people in the game and no one bats an eye. But you see a titty falling out of the shirt and everybody's like, what the fuck? Ban that game. My kid is going to get horny. All right.
They need to go out. They need to go outside and play anyway.
The Terminator. Oh, nice. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to bring us to the end of the show. So we'll be back again next week. I want to say a big thank you again to the chat, to our amazing panel, and to our incredible guests who we'll start with right now if he's still in the building. So, Mr. Mav, if you're still here, let people know where they can catch up with you, your content, and what's coming up.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I was fighting allergies right now, but appreciate you having me again. And it's been a long time. It was a blast being here. If you guys want to find me in the content, check out Fun Speculation on YouTube and on Twitter. And I got lots of stuff going on there. Mondays, we have a show called FSP at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Thursdays, Pong Soul and I have a 2-man show at 7 p.m. Eastern Time called PM in the PM. And then Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, every Friday is Xbox Ultimate Podcast. And I'm going to turn off my camera again because my eyes are watering like a crazy ass son of a bitch. And it looks like I'm crying because allergies suck. But anyway.
Somebody farted in his room and then what happened?
I look like Popeye. I can't even fucking open my eye right now, bro.
As long as you're not getting pink eye.
Maybe I got too close to Master Cheeks. I don't know.
Well, thanks for being here, Mav. It's been long overdue. Glad that you can make it. And again, much best wishes to you and your crew and all the success. I did leave a link for Mav, his social networking, and his link to his YouTube channel. So go check him out. If you haven't done so already, hit the like, comment, subscribe. Let's head over and get UrW1cK3d. Let's find out what you're doing.
You're
My
muted.
bad, dog. My bad. I was about to do the little sign language game on y'all. But nah, you guys can find me on PlayStation, Xbox, and Twitter/X as the name you see on the screen. It was a pleasure podcasting with you for the first time, Mav. I appreciate it, and look forward to possibly crossing paths again one of these days. But other than that, guys, it's always a blast every Tuesday meeting up with y'all. Can't wait for the next one.
Yeah. And UrW1cK3d got pretty damn excited when I said you were coming on the show, Mav. So it was awesome. This is his first time into the podcasting foray. So, like, you know, he's a little different. And he's on the other side of the camera now. He's used to being in a lot of the chat rooms. But it's great that we've added him to the show. And he's been an awesome addition for us. So I know he's pretty excited to finally sort of, you know, go one-on-one or with people that he's watched for the last couple of years in the podcast scene. So it's pretty cool to see all of our communications and, you know, people getting together here, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's
you know,
awesome, man. You guys got a great thing. I think, you know, you do a good job, Wicked and everybody here. Like, as far as like Gaming After Dark coming back, and I know you've had like a couple iterations, Newf, like trying to bring it back at different times and stuff. But like, I think you got really good thing going with this group here and stuff, and a lot of fun conversations.
Even
and
my stupid ass.
Yeah, if you stop talking over everybody, Sir X, man.
Well, I'm trying not to,
but no, you're good, bro.
We love our X Man.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but you guys got a great thing going here, so just keep it up.
I appreciate it. We're having a lot of fun, and it's good to be back. So yeah. Speaking of Sir X-Man, what's happening with you, brother?
I'm waiting to play the new golf game tomorrow.
Nice. Have fun with that.
That's about it. I love video game golf. I told you that.
Yeah. You need to get a MetaQuest 3 and play that Walkabout mini golf. That shit's fucking amazing.
Nah, I'm cool with just a controller in my hand. I don't
You can
need
get the
no
poop
more
and
stuff.
putt. The poop and putt's not bad.
You said poop and putt?
Yeah, you just sit on the toilet and you have a little fucking little
hole in one.
Yeah. He's like, oh, in one.
No, I have enough.
You should have a little golf thing you actually got to put inside of the toilet, and then you got to literally try to take a shit and see if you can get your log to come out and go right in the hole.
All of a sudden you hear a splash and you go, oh, bogey.
Oh, I fucking missed it. Your wife on the floor.
It's in the water, sir.
Oh, wow.
I hit the same trap.
Dude, it'll be like Caddyshack. It's like the candy bar.
It'll be called Shitty Shack.
Oh God.
The guys would have fun, though. If you're married, it probably won't go down very well.
No.
Hey, I can plug in.
What's happening, brother? Good to see you.
Hey, I can plug up the gopher hole.
Oh God.
So that's what happened to our golf course.
had to plug the gopher holes, man.
Proto Foxy, bro. Awesome show tonight. Let people know where they can catch you and hang out with you, bro.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, all that good shit. And I'm here every Tuesday night, just having a great time. Can't wait for the next one.
Indeed. Yes, on the big 20th episode coming up. I know it's 20 people. You've had way more than 20, but it's 20 since we started redoing this show. So since this iteration of GAD is the 20th episode coming up. So
we're like Sony, we remastered.
That's right. We're remastering. We just keep adding some bits.
You remastered, you bastard.
Mr. GameComplainers.
You can find us.
What's next, bro?
Every Wednesday night between 9:30 and 10 p.m. Eastern, the GameComplainers podcast with myself Anthony, Frank, and Fred. And we're going to be celebrating our 12th anniversary of podcasting this coming May.
Holy shit.
That's
Wow, you guys are some
Congratulations.
originators.
Congratulations.
Damn.
Thanks.
congrats, bro. That's
Congrats, brother.
crazy.
That's well, 12 years in podcasts, a long time.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucking
Heck, I think I've been doing this shit now since
13.
2014, 2015, something like that.
I've been on
Damn.
YouTube since 06. I used to do like video shows,
Right.
like,
Mhm.
and then obviously podcasting took over, so that's what we did.
That just like blows my mind because I think I've had everybody here. I'm the newest to it, and I didn't even know there were podcasts like this shit until like 2018 when when Wild no joke, dude, Wild Bates was before he had all his kids. He was so into gaming and he just kept reeling it into me. Yo, you gotta listen to Newf. You gotta listen to Newf. I'm like, what? Like, all right, I'll listen. And from that day on, dude, I did not stop listening, and didn't even know this shit existed.
That
Now
was
I
like
can't live
me. I
without it.
stumbled into it all too, and I didn't realize there was like these game style podcasts, and that's how I got into it.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
people
you were
feel
on
like
there
me,
with
and
with
what I mean?
GKB and them. I remember that.
That's
I've been
wild,
around.
dude.
Yeah, the console corner. Yeah, that was the first podcast I was like became an official member, and I'll never forget it because they just didn't ask me to come on the show. I ended up having getting voted on their show. They had this interesting where they had this contest where they basically each and every week they'd have different guests, and then they get the people in the chat to vote on who would be their next podcast panel member. And obviously, I had the majority of votes, so that's how I got on the show.
Yeah, I was on
hip
some
into
other
it by
show.
being my first podcast ever was the Crossfire podcast with our good friend the Mooch. So that was my first ever appearance. He gave me my start, and kind of the rest is history. So
I've been on.
I
with
get the Mooch on the
Yeah,
show.
already.
I'm willing to do it. I like the Mooch. So
Yeah, I don't mind Mooch. Crap don't bother me either. I just know how he is.
I like those guys. Most guys around here, they probably don't like them, don't whatever. But I like them. I've always been good with those guys.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with him.
Whether you agree or disagree with them, that's up to you, right? But at the end of the day, they do the podcast for the same reasons we do. They're having fun. They're talking about gaming. Sure, some of their opinions change.
Wow, Newf.
Sometimes
We're podcast whores.
right.
That's right. We just
We
throw
get
ourselves
around.
at people. We get around.
Well, yeah, man. Well, 3-Bit, I've definitely been watching you over the years, mostly
3-Bit.
like I said on podcasts with Mav. So that's been pretty awesome to see on his show. And I don't know if I've ever had you on one of mine. It's been hard to get some people to come on. Like the timing just doesn't work out for everybody. I was kind of shocked that Mav was able to come on here tonight. Honestly, it's been hard lining people up. Been trying to get Pong on here a couple of times, and he hasn't been able to make it. So, but yeah, I'll keep plugging away. I'll keep bugging.
Hell
people.
yeah, dude. They'll
Right.
come.
Hey,
If
Chris
we
Jones in the chat. What's going on, brother? Long time no see.
Hey,
Chris Jones was on Gaming After Dark a couple years ago, I do believe.
what's up, C Unit?
Yeah, C-Unit. That's right. And, yeah. But anyway, guys, you know where to find me. Always in the gutter. This was an amazing show. I'll let everybody get out of here. Let's end it right now. We'll see you back here next Tuesday for the 20th episode. And don't miss it because Handy Andy's coming back, and he's got a lot to say. So, anyway, guys, have
That's
yourself a great night. Great conversations. Great topics. This was a good one. We'll see you on the next. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week.
Peace.
Bye.